1, 2, 3, Rain, talk to me. We're gonna hit a beat and talk about my Eve. Everybody don't know what I say. I'm gonna do a beat.
Make it stop.
Rain?
It's
Why?
time to stop.
Why did you?
Rock, paper, scissors, right? We don't want Eve to be as simple as shut the fuck up, Seto!
Floods of like memes, and these small gangers are like, we're the elite of the elite. Do not fuck with us. We will kill you. We are the best players ever. It's like, dude, I did your shit. I did it better than you did.
You know what this conversation is like? When I say not enough supers die in Delve, and people tell me, oh, look, there's a super died in Delve. So it's like, when
What
I'm
are
talking
you
about
even
the balance
talking
issue,
about? We were talking about fucking balance, not supers
Yeah.
dying in Delph.
Look,
Why does
look.
everything with you have to be about supers fucking dying in
Shut
Delph?
up! Shut up!
Christ!
It's an analogy, moron. It's an analogy. Okay?
You guys stop arguing. You act like a fucking married couple. Jesus
No,
Christ.
don't stop arguing.
It's an
Well, it
analogy.
is Trash Talk
It's
Tuesday.
an
I was
analogy.
like,
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another super exciting episode of your third favorite talk show to watch on Tuesday nights at 0200 Eve. That's right, it's Trash Talk Tuesday. My name is Redline13, and we have a hype train. And I'm here joined by a bunch of people who are all going to say hi to you at the same exact time. Make sure that the audio is just as toxic as we remember it. Go for it. Great. It's perfect. It's exactly how we expect it to be every single day. Just a whole bunch of nothing. I love it. It's fantastic. At this point, it's a meme, so it's just gonna stay that way. So we do have some interesting topics to talk about tonight. Of course, there's some crazy stuff that's happening out in the lands of Eve Online. We've got the Basgerin Keepstar getting popped, which leads us to the bullies of Eve Online and what we think about them, and then just whatever else we happen upon. But first, I'm going to pass the mic to our buddy Blazing Bunny to talk about some stuff. So, Bunny, take it away. Oh, hold on. Is it muted? Hold on. I think it's muted. Sorry. No, it's not. There's no way.
Twitch,
Oh,
please.
no, it was actually muted. I'm sorry.
Oh.
God,
I'm sorry. Start over, Bunny. I'm sorry.
can you guys hear me? Yes, no. I'm gonna assume you can. I'll start over again. So in 2012 and 13, I got to interact with a really good dude, by the name of Schadenfreude. Whenever he was an American and was played a lot in U.S. time zone, and he was in the Air Force a little bit before I was. I found out Saturday that he passed away for from some medical thing that I don't really want to air his business. Um, I honestly at a loss of words. He's a really good friend of mine, and to think that that we're not gonna talk in his Discord, or never gonna hear from him again is a little bit dumbfounding right now. So I just want to say rest in peace, Shaden. I'm gonna miss you a lot, bud.
All right. Thanks, Bunny. And everybody here, we echo the same sentiments. Obviously, it's truly a shame when we lose one of our own. And if you knew him, then my thoughts are with you 100% of the way. And if you need anybody to talk to about it, my Discord DMs are always open for literally anybody. So now that we've done that, I mean,
How do you
there's
expect us to shit talk after that?
I mean, I'm sure that we'll find a way. We always find a way somehow, but It's important. It's important that we remember that at the end of the day, we're all of us, we're human beings, right? We all live and love and feel and hurt and everything, and it's just something that you want to keep in mind, even as you're trying to shit on people in Twitch chat or on a stream or on Reddit, anything like that. So just remember that as we go through the stream, and that this is all in good fun, and we do it because we're friends and enjoy having fun with each other. So that being said, now that we are super we're super started on the show, let's talk about the first thing. So I'm unfortunate that we don't have Ivy here to talk about the Keepstar that went down, but I'm curious. So you've all heard about the Keepstar in Basgerin. I'm assuming that's recently been destroyed as of today. Yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's destroyed, but I've seen the kill mill yet.
You haven't seen the kill mill yet?
On Z kill, no. Maybe I'm just retarded. Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
well,
Gunner,
there's
sorry.
Ivy. There's Ivy.
Oh.
Ivy can talk about the Keepstar. Okay, there's the kill mill.
You rang?
I rang.
Oh,
Yep.
scrap.
And she left. Okay, let's bring her back down here. There we go.
I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry.
You must have clicked something. All right, so here's the kill mail. It's been linked in the chat already. I'll pop it up on the screen so people can see it.
Yet I refuse to. Nope.
Well, if you're watching the show, you're gonna have to see it. So
I'm only listening. I'm here to add my 5 cents, and then I'm gonna pop out because this entire thing makes my belly and my brain hurt, and my heart.
well, talk to us about what happened with it. So
No man.
it's
No mail
obviously
first. Get it done with. Rip the band-aid off.
yeah. Let's go into it. It's after all, it is just a video game, right?
Yes.
So I guess I'll tell the story then. The story is that the Keepstar in Basgerin was reinforced after the Sodio died last weekend, right? And then and now there is no Keepstar there anymore.
I guarantee there will be a new one.
Guarantee there will be a new one.
I've got a sniggling suspicion that this was all predetermined and that somebody will be anchoring a Keepstar. Who exactly that person is, I don't know. But I would be a betting woman and putting good money on that. Yeah.
Oh,
In
so you
Basgerin?
think Snuffed Out's gonna anchor a Keepstar there?
Them or some of their friends.
They don't have friends.
That seems really unlikely to me. Maybe I'm not reading the situation correctly, but I just find it highly odd to think that they would put a new Keepstar down in Baskerin. Like, low-sec Keepstars are so rare as it is, and they provide so little.
There's a
Well,
fellow in
they
there's a fellow in the TRS Discord. I believe he's from Snuff, and he's based on his words. There seems to be no interest in Snuff placing a low sec Keepstar down.
I could be wrong, but the rumor I heard around the mill was that there was going to be a new structure anchored.
So have
But
we
what do I
been
know?
have we been given a reason why that Keepstar was even destroyed in the first place? Like, of course,
Nope.
first off, we saw there was a ransom attempt or something like that. But
It's for the Satoyo based on, supposedly, and I'm using the words that were taken from I Want To directly when he was on Pando and Miranda Lori and Elisa's Twitch stream, and they said that we supposedly stole the Satoyo from Eve Mogul, the Yeti guys, and they have screenshots and proof. Yeah, and we're supposedly a bunch of scammers, I guess. And that is why they were coming to blow it up, and they had no interest in diploing with us. And the 45 bill number was a random number that Tao pulled out of his ass, and they just memed the shit out of us.
So there was never any intention of like honoring a parlay, as it were.
Sounds that way.
Nice, good
Mm-hmm.
guys over there in Snuffed Out Land. We love them, right? They're just
Are
beautiful
you
people.
surprised?
You gotta
Kind
remember
of,
though,
yeah.
people. You gotta
Why?
remember though, it's a game.
I mean, you do have
It is
to
a
remember
game.
it's a game, but even so, it's I don't know. It doesn't really set super well with me that they went out there and just blew that shit up, because like, what's the point, you know?
Point of any of combat, they got to choose a target. I'm not going to give them a hard time about that. They chose a target they know they could kill because of the situation going on in Nullsec. They took it. You can't fault them for that. That's just that is just playing the game. Does it have to make sense? No, of course not. People go in roams all the time for no reason. There's all kinds of things in the game that make no sense. It's for it to harp on them over that isn't really it's disingenuous because the whole game, that's what the game is. Does it suck when you lose your shit? Believe me, I know. We've lost a lot of shit in the last
I was
year.
gonna say we've lost quite a lot, trillions
Were you
of
warned?
stuff.
Were you warned about the Sotio or the Keepstar before at all?
If I
by
gank you in
Snuff?
Heisek, are you warned?
Nope.
It's not a
Yeah,
fucking
maybe it's
dog,
scaled.
it's a citadel. Like,
It's the game.
No
Warning
warning.
on shield.
Yeah, warning on shield, pretty much.
Yeah, so I mean, it was it's one of those things where like after the Sotillo died, I mean, I was there, I was gunning the Sotillo. I'm pretty sure that I shot at least 70 or so blues, just to be honest with you. But
You AWOC, sir.
yeah,
Good job, Redline.
me AWOXer.
Well, there is a fellow who, well, I believe he claims to be from Snuff. He did mention that that there was some sort of warning in November, but he also said the Sotio and the Keepstar were just kill mails waiting to happen, and he believes that you should have solved it or unanchored it much earlier.
so
Yeah,
that
but here's the thing for us though. We didn't feel right potentially selling the Keepstar. That was a gift to us. It was a donation. Like, how do you turn around and be like, oh yeah, here's this fantastic gift, and then sell it for ISK? Like, that just didn't seem right. Like, Mercenary Coalition gifted us something, and we ran with it. And the ransom back in November, it was a YouTube video of how we scammed them out of a Keepstar, which they wouldn't talk to us then either. So how were we to be like, okay, who scammed you? Because we were alarmed. We said, okay, who's impersonating Sixth Empire? Who scammed you? Like, let's fix this. This is wrong. And silence.
Well,
It's
I
important
understand
to
it's
remember Snuff likes to roleplay the bad guy just as much as they like being the bad guy at times, right? So they like to have some fun and memery with their narrative as they conduct their attacks more often than not. Just as you saw from that post during the shield timer, I think, or the armor timer, I should say. And
well,
that is just kind of their style in general.
you say it's a gift. Now, from the person who gave, if you could still talk to the person who gave it to you, would you rather that you unanchored it and sold it and made use of the whatever you could get for it? Would you rather see that this gift be taken away by Snuffed Out? It's, well, I guess
It's
it's a
hard.
difficult
It's
decision
hard
to
to
make.
say what they would have wanted. We tried reaching out to said person, and we had no luck because that was one of the questions we were asking. Like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? We had a couple people directly message us and offer us, hey, we'll buy it for X amount of ISK, and we said, sorry, Keepstar's not for sale.
Some pretty sizable amounts of ISK as well, if I'm
That's
to be
unfortunate.
correct.
So if I remember correctly, all those low set Keepstars were built like as a big ass chain to sell and deal in low sec supers. There's the one in Basgerin, the one in
Mela, Onainen,
Mela
Pocket.
Onanen.
Ignoiton?
Yeah, there was a couple.
Ignoitin was much
Amamaki.
later.
I think Amamake was intended to be part of the chain, but like it was this huge thing way before. I think it was either just before World War B or after, but it was I'm in the same boat as whoever said it was literally a floating Keepstar. After the other ones died, the fact it lived as long as it did was pretty fucking shocking.
Unfortunately,
Well, I think the reason it didn't die is because it had at least enough neutrality that people could accept it. And I think there's a desire for a couple Keepstars and Lowsec just for people to store super capitals and, buy them if they want them kind of thing.
I think the desire's there, but don't you think it's fair that no matter, eventually all those Keepstars are probably going to get hit at least once, whether they're destroyed or not. Is that
Oh, of course. Everything that is put up in Eve, every Citadel that goes up is going to go down. The
that's my
TTT,
point
1DQ, Ignite, and DP, every Keepstar that goes up is going to come down at some point, right? It's just a matter of when.
Were the offers for that Keepstar and that Sotio reasonable?
The one for the Keepstar was quite sizable, but again, we didn't know. At first we were like, well, okay, let's entertain this. Let's talk about this. But then we did a little bit of looking into the fact of who was making the offer, and I had my intelligence guys do their thing, and we discovered that the person making the offer had a bad an interesting history. Let's say that. An interesting history involving trades. So we erred on the side of caution and did a wait and see approach.
I see.
Correct.
Well, it's
correct.
unfortunate you
Not erred.
come out. Well, it's unfortunate you've come out of the deal with nothing now.
Well, again,
I don't
it
think
is
that's
what it is,
exactly
right?
true. Ivy, check your DMs. I don't think that that's exactly true that they came out of the deal with nothing. Like now they know that there are people that can and will come to defend them in a time of need. I hope that there's an organization of sorts created to allow that to happen.
And certainly the revenue from Basgerin for the last 2 years or wherever long it was would have been considerable to have in your pocket as well.
Here we go. What's up, Rye?
Now we do have our friend Vry, who with a BBC tag next to his name, so he has messaged me and would like to offer perspective from the snuffed out side. So let's hear about that. What's the deal, dude? Why you bully me?
Well, I mean, all cards on the table now. This entire episode is over. Let's in November we made up a story that we got scammed out of the Keepstar because we really thought it would be funny, and plus it gets Reddit riled up about something, right?
It was funny. Like we laughed. We wanted to participate
There
with you guys.
wasn't any that was completely made up. There was no actual scamming or anything like that. Let's be very clear. So then November, December rolls around, and then January rolls around, and M2 happens, right? And M2 has kind of been good for us because it's given the opportunity before the Basgerin Keepstar had been protected by Goonswarm Federation. We also believed PanFam would come. I mean, pretty much we knew if we went after it, it would be blobbed, right? And so then it became a thing of like, well, I mean, right now there's an opportunity, there's an opening. Why not take it? So the 45 bill ransom was again kind of in following what Redline said. It's something we've made up. It was never serious, and we actually sent you to Giannis, who's one of our worst Reddit posters, and a really kind of interesting guy. So we thought that would be kind of funny. But to be honest, it was also to poke at low sex, see what happens, right? See what forms, to kind of gauge the response. And what we got from the Satito were like 5 or 6 different groups all pledging to help out and come. None of
the
which
most kitchen sink, ramshackle group of fleets I've ever seen.
That's exactly right, Billy. What we saw were no coordination. What we saw were mixed comps. Nobody wanted to commit anything. You had 100 in Drakes. You had guys in Serbs, 200 off, just clinking. So it was like, oh, okay, here's the defense fleet. So once we
isn't that what you guys count on, dude? Isn't that what Snuff counts on? That's what Snuff's been doing since you guys started in Losec, right?
I mean, no. I mean, if you think about it, when we fight Siege Green, when we fought Shadow Cartel before, this iteration of Shadow Cartel, we were fighting very organized groups. Siege Green are amazing. Like Erestrian is great to
Well, I
fight.
mean, look at Cloud Ring 7 or 8 months ago. They were
Right.
literally facing the full might of the, well, not the full might, but a considerable amount of Imperium strength, right? Like to the
That's
tune of
right.
hundreds of dreadnoughts. It's not like
That's
And
exactly right.
you guys were awesome. Like we have no lies that you guys
Right.
did really well and you kicked our asses. And we reached out to lots of people for help.
Yeah, yeah, no, I
including
mean,
all these people that you guys keep mentioning, making it seem like not Snuff in particular, but just everybody's like, oh, why didn't 6E ask for help? And I'm like, we did.
yeah,
We asked
no,
lots of people for help.
if you don't think we kept track of like who was being bad from, we absolutely did, right? That's part of what we do is like to see like, well, what's the response going to be like? So now there's been like a fracturing, right? Everybody's involved in this war, and it's allowed breathing room for middle-sized groups like Snuff to sort of flex muscle and to get, do some stuff that we've been kind of had on the table as like a plan for a while, right? So it was a situation where like with the Satio, you saw these groups, and when the Satio died, it was a situation of like, okay, well, now we're going to go after a keep. Now going after a Keepstar is entirely different than the Satio, right? As everybody here knows who's in the null block, like Keepstars can be nasty, even in low
let
set.
me tell you.
Right, Billy, you know, like the Keepstars can be very, very nasty, especially with a good defense wave. Right.
Especially whenever you
with good
mount
defense
around 700 to 800 Titan-sized defense skins on it.
Right, exactly. Like I can tell you, my Titan was on field today and got Doomsday like I think I counted 4 times, and that stuff hurts. So it was a situation where like, okay, well, if we attack the Keepstar, will the defense fleet increase? Like, will we see more interest on the null block? What groups will come out of the woodwork? NSH, Volta, all these guys kind of in the area who have sizable dread bombs. We knew that Erestrian had been kind of poking around and gotten kind of interested in it. And it was like, okay, well, like if we attack something that kind of fights back at a higher level, what'll happen? And this is nothing against Sixth Empire. God bless you guys. This is all about content. Let me be very, very, very clear. It was a situation where like it kind of flopped. Like we saw a few of the same kind of NPSI groups like band together. We saw an attempt at forming, a sizable defense fleet of like 500 tornadoes to alpha carriers or things like that. But yeah,
real quick. So why did you choose Sixth Empire as the target instead of, I don't know, any of the other Sotios or Keepstars in Lotec? I'm assuming that there's
Because
more.
they're easy.
well, I mean, some people pay us, some people don't. Let's just say that.
I mean, is there any other real options? Like, Amamaki crew was part of the crew attacking.
Right.
Igniting, we pay our dues to everybody.
Right.
Basgerin is kind of the only one that's really lonely on its own, isn't it?
That's correct.
You can say it was for the drama, Vry. You can say
it absolutely, like, for people who don't understand, like the Reddit threads that came out of this
They
have
were
been
great.
like, we literally were reading them out to each other and just like giggling. And I mean, like people, like I got threats, like actual threats sent to me, and it was just like, oh yeah, oh absolutely. Like we had people like actual in real life threats. So it was just like, okay, well, obviously, like this is spicy. So I mean, people felt passionately about what you guys do, which is not a bad thing. Like we like to roleplay the bad guys. Some of us are real bad guys, but most of us are just normal people who like roleplay. I mean, like, look, I mean, like
Some of us
that.
are truly
Some of
good
those,
guys.
right? Some of that go through and read that Reddit thread again. Like some of that stuff is just pure gold. And I mean, it made for a really fascinating week and a half.
Do you have any plans on placing a structure where that is, or
No.
placing a Keepstar down?
No.
I didn't.
Fuck.
I didn't think so either.
Does Snuff Dad have a Keepstar and Rocket Pass? No. Why? Because Billy made a good point. Keepstars and low sec suck. They die. If you have anybody like, do you guys remember the no handlebars Keepstar? Right, that was like a couple years ago, over in kind of the Heimatar area, I think. And NC defended that with supers and titans, right? And goons and Init and some of the other low sec groups all attacked it, and all they used were subs, and it died. Like, if you have a sizable force, a low sec Keepstar will die.
Let's rephrase that. If you have a big enough force, any Keepstar.
Right. That's
die.
exactly right.
It doesn't matter where it's at. It's just easier in null
That's
sec.
right. Why put one down?
Or low sec.
You still
Why
need
put
to
one down?
buff anchoring Keepstars though. Like they just need to
What?
get buffed to hair. Like they just need to
Like
get buffed to hair.
Yeah,
we've
let's make Keepstars that are already anchored even harder to kill.
Fuck
look
no.
most
Fuck no.
Yeah,
most
I think
most
it's
of
a
our
great
players
idea.
most of our
All
players,
the
including
all
myself,
the
are
dope
from the
stars need to
go-
die.
are from the old school of like my supers, like always logged in the pods. I know my guys coffins. Both of my supers and titans and stuff, they're all coffin characters. Like we play the old way. We don't need a Keepstar to swap people out. And like there's a very strong feeling that it makes for lazy players. So we prefer to keep it the old way.
Well, you guys have very little to lose
As
essentially, right?
goons found out when they attacked Rocket Boss, it was
Right,
like,
like
what are you gonna shoot?
you're gonna get a fort kill and you're gonna eat shit doing it because you guys
Yep.
just log in dreads, right? Like, and
Yep.
you're gonna lose way more than
Yep.
what a fort is worth. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Which
So
is
like,
honestly like a very respectable thing. Like that's the one
well,
thing
like,
I've always given props to High for and to how they're smart guys.
so like if you think about it, when goons came in there, a lot of them were like trash talking local, as people do, and like, oh, we're gonna destroy it, make sure you guys can't make any money. Well, like all of our stuff is alt courts, right? Like you're never gonna find where I do my reactions. You're never gonna find where most of us make our money. Like it's just not possible. So like,
Oh, I already
yeah,
know. Does
right.
anybody want to know?
Where?
Actually,
Where
like,
do I?
can you X up in chat if you want to know where Vry does his reactions and the rest of Snuffed Out does their shit?
So, at any rate, it became this thing of like when Jeff deployed against us, it was like, dude, like we loved it. It was the best content ever. Every morning we could just undock, shoot jackdaws or serbs. Dave Archer would feed us a sacrilege fleet, and he'd
No,
go
I
home for the
wouldn't.
day. It was fantastic. Like it was the best couple weeks of ever. We were very sad when the war kicked off and Goons went home.
You named some buildings after me, actually.
We did. We named some after you. We named some after some guy Tyler that lost a marshal. Like and when Ultra Cow whelped all those caps to us because he decided rather than just dock them, he warped all his caps off a fort onto an Astra, and they couldn't tether. Like, and we killed all his caps. We decided to name our faction Fortizar him after him. So it was the Ultra Cow cap training station for quite a few months.
All right, so check it out. If you want to know where Snuffed Out does all their money making
Oh my goodness.
activities, you can
Yeah,
send
we do it all in
Redline,
the
send
we do it all in the
Redline
TTT,
13,
please.
69,420,000 ISK, and I will reveal the secrets.
We do
of
it all in the
universe.
TTT, and if you really want to hurt us, you'll go after the TTT. That's what I have to say on that.
Right, well, I was there. I was part of the Drake's fleet. I believe when we came into system, there was zero confidence that
Right.
anything was we were gonna be able to do anything with the Sodio. I believe the Drakes are, with all the small gangers and such, being commanded by Casper and Amelia.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
guessing you considering you outfit a few of us sometimes.
Yes. There was the Drakes were a great meme. Like we appreciate a good meme. Like those were fantastic.
You know,
it
I
was
almost
true
killed one of your
Casper.
Archons with a Sodio, right? You
I
know,
hope
I
you
almost killed. I almost killed one of your Archons with a Sodio.
I'm
I want
sure
you
you
to know
did.
that.
We had some people who were like, "What?" Like we were in conflict. What are you doing? Like, come, just warp off, dude. Come on, it's great.
We were. I hope you had as much fun as we did. That it was a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure when Amelia and Casper were commanding, they were basically shooting anything that moved because, well, it's content.
Yeah, right. And that was the thing. It was like, look, people can be mad at us. We don't care. It's fun and it's fine. Like it's part of the game. And like watching these NPSI fleets who had been like, "We're gonna kill you all," and then they start shooting each other was just like, this is fantastic. So at the end, when
let me
everybody
ask
had
you
like,
this question, just like straight
Sure.
up. This was nothing to do with Sixth Empire as a group, correct?
That's correct. Like I've
Everyone
met
loves Sixth Empire,
right.
but also there's people in the chat that are complaining that there's no trash talk. So
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay, do you
need
want me
you
to
to
switch into
spice
the
it
trash
up.
pile?
So
Okay.
apparently for chat's sake, Ivy and Vry, I'm gonna need you guys to role play like you're not actually
Okay.
playing a video game, but like you're really mad at each other. Just for the drama, for the memes,
Sure.
for the views, because apparently some people think that I bring people on the show for views, which is weird. But you go for it on 3.
Okay.
1, 2, go.
You should probably,
So
if you can't defend it, don't anchor it, and you probably should have just fucked off earlier.
did I give you permission to talk to me, scumbag? Like
This is
I am
fantastic.
the queen of Safazon.
You know what though?
His
If you had been
Holiness
at least
has-
competent in the Satio, like
keep
rather than
talking.
primarying the same facts over and over, if you'd been
You're
the one,
wasting my
like
time. You're
Rocket
wasting
X,
my time.
Rocket X spent 40 minutes shooting the same facts, and you weren't even shooting it with Satio. That dude was so fucking mad. He was mad posting in Twitch.
Oh,
Like,
right.
I'm
Did you see in
sorry.
local?
You really are boring me. You have anything
that's
exciting
not.
to say?
That's not. You and my ex-wife both think the same thing.
I mean, it
Oh,
wasn't as boring
honey.
as that Citadel defense, honestly.
Well, like, you know what,
Not as
Ivy? If you
exciting
hadn't
this
been on
in
that,
the bedroom,
right?
I can see why your ex-wife laughed.
Thanks.
Oh,
Hey,
Jesus
hey,
Christ!
Ivy.
Someone
Ivy.
call the cops. I just witnessed some murder.
This is fantastic. Hey, Ivy. If you hadn't been on that terrible, terrible Twitch chat called Lasers and Lace, and maybe like had a competent gunner, you might have actually had a green kill board on that. At least something.
I was
Because
the gunner,
I mean, like,
dude. I was the gunner, Fry. Fuck you.
that makes it 10 times worse. Hey, so Redline. So Redline, is this what you're doing now that you've been sidelined from FCing in Nullsec?
Whoa, bro.
Whoa. Like, we decided to call you Sideline and not Redline.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
oh, that's so good.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta. He's
Okay,
about to be sidelined.
If this is the case, if
please
this
don't
is
do it.
the case, then it's no wonder why you're gunning a fucking, a Satio for these guys, because obviously you've shown you have no value in nullsec. So is this where you've come to sort of shore up,
Oh,
your
no.
skills?
What have I done? I started a stream for trash talk, and now I'm getting trash talked. This is not how this is supposed to go.
I don't know what the defenders were doing there, right? Because partway through the Drake fleet, I said to Amelia, they're maybe we should switch that primary they're calling in local. And he's like, they're calling the faxes in local? Good job on the faxes, though. Fucking hell. Everybody was trying to time the what's it called, triage times to kill your fax.
I mean, like,
and we couldn't fucking do it.
Rhett, you guys are so fucking boring. Go back to fighting.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of this because I'm gonna stay out of this because the only real reason he lost his wife because she's been spending all her time with me. That's the only.
That's right. There you go.
I've been busy.
Hey, you know what?
I got no time to bang down and dick down a Keepstar. I'm too busy.
If you can deal with my ex-wife, then fucking good for you,
She's
man.
the reason,
I'm sure she's cut off your balls already.
We have a funny story about ex-wives and husbands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm a nurse. Everybody knows I'm a nurse. So I had a patient that was one of those guys that nobody wanted to take care of because he threw things and he was foul-mouthed and da-da-da-da-da. So when you went into his room, it was playing duck and dodge because you didn't know what was going to come, a fist, a urinal, who knows what. So, buddy, I go into the room, they're like, it's your turn. I'm like, fuck. So he comes in the room, I go, and this fucking urinal comes flying past my head, and I duck it, and he's like, you stunt cunt. I'm like, oh, have you been talking to my ex-husband again? And the look on this guy's face, like he wasn't expecting that as a response. So he kind of looks at me and then he gets like this snarly tooth grin and he's like, I like you. And I'm like, no, stop throwing at me. Like, just stop throwing shit. He's like, fine. But like the quick rebuttals of like, oh, you've been talking to my ex-husband again. Yeah, he liked that, I guess.
That's like prison, man. You know what I mean? You beat somebody up or talk trash talk on the first day and people respect you.
Right.
Is that why there's a call? So is that why you got a call called "Wife is Sleeping"?
Can you confirm or deny this accusation that I've just read? So, I've been informed that the reason that you guys attacked Six Empires is because since you're reformed for the third time, you've lost something very near and dear to you, your testicles. And that Snuffed Out now has no balls to do anything but attack helpless RPers in an effort to create drama and reinvigorate people that join Snuffed because your entire alliance is dying?
You know what? Like, every part of that is completely true. What we are filled with terrible RPers who have no lives. And what we do is we sit in our mom's basement for days on end, planning on how to ruin your day specifically. And you know what I mean? Like, what can we do to really fuck with you? And it was just like, maybe we should attack. the Sixth Empire. Like, those guys seem like cool people. Like, we should definitely fuck them up.
Do you guys regret sucking on the Imperium teat for so long?
Oh, you know what though? That got us our super fleet, didn't it, you little bitch?
I know it did.
So
Too bad you only use it to attack defenseless targets, little bitch.
It
Well,
only
talking
costs
about-
you your dignity.
You know what, Redline? If you had formed a fucking fleet for this, maybe something would have changed. Instead, it was just all shit talk from literally
Speaking
some
about
of the
sucking on
dumbest
teats,
people in age.
I
maybe
tell
this
you
is where I
what.
should jump back in.
So here's
No, maybe, that
here's
timing.
the trash talk, and I really appreciate everybody who tried to come together and defend that Keepstar. But for the love of God, if you're gonna fight Titans, carriers, and supers, maybe don't form a tornado fleet.
Dude, they were convinced. You guys were convinced that
No.
tornadoes were out for that shit.
No. Let's be clear.
Oh.
Everybody who was initially initially trying to defend the Sotio was not part of defending the Keepstar. We weren't
No.
there.
Right.
And in all honesty, like once we saw what you guys brought for the Sotio fight and then what you brought for the Keepstar, we were like, there is no way with all the massive blocks who, are willing to help us. Like there's nothing we can do here to stop this.
Say that, like, there has always been the possibility of a good dread bomb, right? And especially with the nerf to Titan EHP and resist, a dread bomb
Fair enough, but
it's
the problem
very
was
much worth it. But
all these lovely people who normally would fight you, they're like, nope, their Titans are out. Nope, like you guys scared off your own content.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, people complain that there's no content, but these are the same people that literally won't fight over anything, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, it's snuff. We actually purposefully bring engageable comps for most things, because it's like, and people don't.
I don't want to hear it.
Dawn, now
Just
what
mean
we're
like
fighting
an
Goons.
engageable
No.
Titan fleet, you know?
Goons are
Hold on
different
here.
because
Hold
you
on.
guys
So,
bring
no,
250
you
people
guys-
for nothing, right?
We
You guys blob for everything. So with a
It's not
blob like
blobbing
yours,
if that's just
it
what
is.
we are.
Right, and that's exactly right. And we adapt to that. Why did we start using damnations? Why did we have our max tank slave material? Because goons will form 250 people in a normal
and
fleet.
then you firewall with Nestor so that way you have no
Right.
risk to yourself.
That's exactly right. So if you think about it, right, there's skill there. We may have 40 people in comms at total. It may be. And it's like most of us are multi-boxing, most of us have 5 or 6 clients open and are working hard in fighting a fleet that has 250 people in it who are all maybe running one client. Right? So in the case of goons, I'm sorry, fuck you, you're not getting a good fight. Like, fuck you. Like, why would we give a good fight to the biggest blob in the game?
By the way,
Like,
there is
honestly.
a new
We're not
poll in
the
the
biggest
chat.
blob in the fucking game.
I mean, you were.
Okay.
Let's
Right.
be honest here. You were.
Why would
and
we
that's-
give a good fight to
you were-
PanFam?
But it wasn't
you.
even the blob. This was a SIG from the group that has
Okay,
only
even
a
your
percentage
SIG
of the group.
Okay, so now we're gonna
goon
dip.
SIG
We're
of
gonna
that
dip
size?
into that because first off, that wasn't a goon SIG. That was just like DEF and Horde is a SIG. We both know it's not a fucking SIG. It's just the deployment without deploying the entire super
I know
fleet.
absolutely how many people are in there, and it is not the bulk of the alliance. It is a SIG,
Oh, good question.
and I can ping it too. So like I know what's in there.
Are you guys buddies with FRT now?
I mean, like, no. I mean, like, it's a situation of like,
That blew my mind when we saw freaking Frat helping you. We were like, what the fuck?
We have no blues. Like, even Wangs, when we reformed, we reset them. Now, we're always looking for somebody who just doesn't give a shit and wants to meme with us. And in that case, Frat was like, yeah, fuck it. We'll come have a good time. And it's like, where did Frat form, right? This last thing, they formed Rifters. That shit was hilarious. Like, and they were just warping all over on the tornadoes and stuff. Like, so, I mean, like, in this case, it's like, dude, Frat's just having fun like the rest of us.
Is Frat still at war with like people up north? I've only seen tidbits.
In tribute, yeah.
Why they gotta do that?
Who made the call to drop the fucking fighters? Instantly, 30% tie-dye. Felt like waiting through syrup.
Oh, God. So
Welcome
what we
to
knew
Low
is...
They had a war on the kill mail, Rich. Hello?
can't have
Crime watch.
They're engageable super fleet.
yeah,
They had a
fuck the
war on the
tie-dye.
kill mail.
Have you seen the stream of Geronix where he just rubber banded his Drake? Oh, it's warped off.
Welcome to tie-dye in the server, Richmond.
Dude, Lowsec is
Shut
always
the fuck up.
Low
Low
sec
sec has
is the
always
worst
been.
to fight it.
It's always been
No,
garbage. It's
that
pretty much always
30%
been
tie
garbage.
dye, that bullshit is probably the reason why they didn't reform the Drakes for the
Rich
Keepstar fight.
Richmond.
Imagine
criticizing an
complaining
aspect
about
of the-
30% tie-dye. Imagine
I know,
complaining
right?
about
Imagine,
30%
imagine
tie-dye.
sitting through 1%
remember,
tie dye.
God, I
remember
would
a regular night
pray
tie-dye.
for 30% tie-dye.
Listen, if you're sitting through
30% is
1% tie dye,
nice.
if you're the kind of person who does these 12-hour 1% tie dye fights, do some exercise and follow.
We do. We have like stretch breaks every like
Water
15
breaks,
to 20 minutes.
bathroom breaks. Y'all play music,
bucket.
watch a
that-
movie.
Don,
Rich
where did your
Richmond
damn rogue
insulting and
fleet go?
criticizing an aspect of the game he doesn't play
I
on
don't
and doesn't
know.
understand yet again. Thank you, Rich
Excuse
Did it
Richmond.
me,
break
Yeah.
somewhere?
Did I
I don't
come in
know.
100 MN Drake? Absolutely fucking lootly. Did I have fun with the 100 MN Drakes? Absolutely. Did I
30% tie dye is like
Absolutely. I don't know what you're
Bitching
talking
about
Jeremy.
30% tie dye. Absolute fucking
Yeah,
loser.
it's fucking shit.
no, that's actually a really nice tie dye amount because you get time to like
Right.
push your buttons.
That's
and see what's
exactly
going on,
right, Dawn.
And
That's
look
exactly right.
around. You get
That's
to play,
right.
like even if you're
Man.
zooming around, you have some time. That's why I hate night
So-
fleet.
What are you, geriatrics?
Because I don't have time.
You really need tie dye to be able to function.
So let me explain.
I'm
Rich. Let me
fine.
wait.
We're
Wait,
boomers.
Rich,
we
Rich,
can't
Rich.
click the buttons as fast as
Let
some
me
of these
explain
groups
to
like
you
Horde.
that when you have multiple clients open, like in the case of these last fights, I had 7 clients open.
You kind of need the time.
Takes. I'm not Korean, right? My APM isn't that good. So in this case, like I need that extra couple of seconds to alt tab between all of my clients, make sure everything's running, make sure everything's going, and you know that little like blob lag of like launching fighters and then recalling them gives you that little bit of like, you know, the time to think about it.
I guess, yeah, we're two different kinds of people on different kinds of coin. I'll get carpal tunnel and you can get hemorrhoids.
There you go.
And you know, Imperium does have a discount on standing desks. So if you are part of Karma Fleet and or various other goon entities, talk to Merkelchen and he can get you a discount on a standing desk.
Yikes! How much commission does he make doing that?
I don't think he makes any. But
Sure.
we have like a
Dawn,
10% discount.
Dawn, do you issue discount codes for compression socks? Have the blood circulate?
No.
Who the
Probably
fuck
should
wears
ban that.
socks
Those are
inside?
also really hard to get on.
Hell wears pants.
Exactly, dude. Fuck pants. Fuck
Compression
clothes
Just use
on
a fucking
inside.
blanket on your lap, and then your
Are you
cat
telling
can
me you
cuddle
go to
on
your
it.
Munin fleets naked?
So
No.
let's go
Yeah.
back
I
for a
mean-
moment.
I
Let
mean,
me stir some controversy.
Where are we
Let's go
going,
back to a
Bry?
moment.
Tell us where
Let's-
we're going. Where are we going, Bry?
Let's rewind a little
Take
bit.
me
Back
there.
To the,
Take me
back
there,
to the
dude.
Jeff. Back to
Take
the
me.
Jeff deployment, right? So
Uh-huh.
why did Jeff deploy to Cloud Ring? Right? Why did they drop a Keepstar there?
Those are
So,
cowards.
well, let me explain.
No,
Who's
Wait,
Jeff?
hold on.
He
Jeff
means
is the goon,
Goon
or was it
Expeditionary
Goon Expeditionary
Force.
Force? Right.
Okay.
So let me explain. When Snuff reformed, we decided no blues. We had been kind of working and had a pretty good relationship with the initiative at the time when we disbanded. It was like, oh, we were kind of, buddy kind of a thing. So when we reformed, like, no blues. So we decided to take back a bunch of the moons in Placid that had been lost when we were AFK. And those were unironically owned by the initiative via the Corp Tundragon, who are well known as the kings of gate campers in Placid because that's all they do. They are now in Goonsworm Federation, by the way. So we decided to take these back. And what we did was we created a terrible situation for Pando and Shines. And what we would do is we would reinforce their moons many at a time to all come out around the same time. So they would have to form a fleet for 8 hours, sit in that fleet for hours and hours and hours, and then we would wait until their numbers dropped and then go and kill the structure because their numbers were trash. When all Pando wanted to do was to go do a wormhole op. Like, that's all he wanted to do, but he had to keep this fleet for him the entire time. So once people lost interest or he started to go off into a wormhole, we would go ahead and attack. So Shines lost his mind a little bit, and because he would mid Supers and Titans, and we would just go home. Because it was like, fuck it, we're not going to fight that. So we'd go home and blue ball him, and then he'd have to mid his Titans back and tell his guys, oh, we can't use them. So he decided to finally bitch out and called Jeff. That's when Goons decided to deploy for a quote content into Cloud Ring. At this point, it was a situation of like, well, this is going to be great. So rather than hit Goons, and have to do bashing, Goons decided to do structure bashing for us and decided to shoot Athenors and maybe a Tatara or two that we had and some Fortizars. we decided to make it as terrible as possible for them by forming such fleets as Damnations, supported by Hodreds, to do nothing but tackle, firewalling Nesters to make sure their missiles couldn't do anything, and just completely meme and try out different comps. And it was fantastic content. And at this point, I think, this is my personal speculation, that Pappy saw that Goons weren't very good, that their FC team was about an inch deep, and the opportunity was there for them to go ahead and kick off this stupid nullsec war that they've got going on. So that is my political theory on what's been going on over the last year and a half.
Which perfectly segues us into talking about the war in nullsec. Imagine that.
Right, you still have to explain why Goon leadership is lizard people.
Look, man, I think we've all seen this. We've all seen the evidence over the last year that, in fact, Goon leadership are, in fact, controlled by lizard people. I mean, I don't know how many times.
How did you know?
Right, exactly. I'm on it, Don. You admitted it.
Oh, Jesus
Right
Christ.
right now, I have been redeemed. Thank you very much, Don Rhea. And with that,
Mittens and number 5 is totally not a lizard person.
exactly.
Mittens
Totally
number 5.
not.
All right.
Right,
so
he's a clone.
There's been some pretty interesting stuff that's happened in the old war for nullsec these last few days. There was a kind of a largish engagement on Friday. Billy,
They all
was
blur
that,
together.
Was that the one? Was that one of the ones?
Oh, was that all the bubble shit?
Yeah, the bubble shit on Friday.
Okay.
Villy, you're here?
I got so bored waiting.
So can you tell me about what happened on Friday, what the plan was, what the goal was? I mean, I kind of figured, but obviously it wasn't me losing my vulture, but
we were doing the nightly dinner bell, and at this time they didn't stop us on the fort, and then they didn't stop us in the middle, so we just kept encroaching, and then we started clearing the top, and I think we cleared the entire top for the sum total of I think a single doomsday, and then we're like, all right, well, let's try logging some stuff in. By this time we cleared everything that was on the fort, we cleared everything in the middle, and we had a few in the top. We gave it a try. Obviously, we weren't really prepared for the process of extracting all the supers up at top over the course of the 4 hours we had given them to prepare. It just wasn't really a tenable situation. So we said cool, and Moon walked out after losing 2 supers.
I just want to say it was a massive op success, but that only for me because I got my facts out. Everyone else can just feed. I don't care.
I thought you should have held grid till like downtime and logged everybody in at downtime.
I don't think.
I mean, that would have been an option, but the reality
it was only
is
8 hours.
Like, here's the thing, like that's absolutely a play we can make at a later time, but I don't think we do that with. What time do we start that up? Like 0200? Like, if we're gonna do that, we'll do it like 3 hours before or something, right? And then
we were already.
Everybody take note.
2 or 3 hours by the time that we'd started.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. Everybody knows when it's going to happen. It's probably going to happen closer to downtime, so that because it removes all the risk, right? It's so much easier when it's just like, well, if everything goes wrong, we got 20 minutes to, lose a Titan or 2, and then we're out.
I'm sorry. There's a comment in the chat. I didn't think we were gonna get this far.
Get what far?
So good. No, like that's basically what you're saying. It's the nightly dinner bell, and then you're just killing bubbles, and then suddenly you're logging in. We're logging in Titans and supers and getting them out. I didn't think we were gonna get this far.
Well, I mean that really wasn't the plan for that night, right? Like, it was just they didn't defend the tops, they didn't defend the fort, they didn't defend the middle, so we're like, all right, well, let's just keep going. It was.
Do we being Pappy still have a decent amount of like super caps, like super carriers and Titans on the fort and in between? Because I noticed they put bubbles back up, but I didn't think we had much there.
No, I'm tracking there might be like 1 super carrier on the fort, maybe. Like, these are people that just like have put no effort into logging in, right? Because we can effectively clear the fort and middle at any point now. I'm pretty confident. So if somebody's like, I'm trapped on the fort or I'm trapped in the middle, and if they let people know, we'll go and clear the bubbles and they can jump out. It's really the other locations that are the issue.
I do want to extend that multiple people in the Imperium are offering to buy your Trap Titans.
Stop
At
this.
20 to
That's a
30 billion
scam,
is the
by the
highest I've
way.
seen so far.
That's a scam. They'll just kill you when
At the
you
price
log
of
in.
your.
I mean,
Just
I can't
ask
help
the
what
guy
everybody
that
else does.
just ask
but
the guy that logged in the other day. He sold his Titan and it got murdered, right? That's your story here. Anyways,
It was just a wyvern, I think.
I thought
I'm
there
gonna
was a
watch
Titan yesterday, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, we did get a Titan yesterday. We're down to 317, I believe.
Anyways, Don, tell me how exhausted you guys are.
What?
How exhausted are you guys after camping
She's part
M2 for
reptile.
so
She's
long?
not fucking exhausted.
I haven't spent a single day at the M2 camp.
Ah, cracks
That's
forming.
not shocking.
Say
Cracks,
No, I
cracks
got other
forming.
shit to do,
Not
bitch.
every goon is at the camp in M2.
I'm available.
We're doing this.
I'm available at a moment's notice to come in.
Just pay
but
$2.99 and Dawn will pick up your call.
well,
She
are you calling me a phone?
Are we calling a 900 number here? Hello?
No, I'm calling you a phone gate camp operator. Like, come on.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
It's like, I mean, I do work on the phones as a profession, but not that kind of profession.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
boy. I knew you were. I knew you worked in
Dawn,
a call center.
are you a
Don. I
ping
knew it.
warrior? Are you a ping warrior? You can't generate content by yourself?
No, I'm actually generating plenty of my own content because I'm running a SIG trying to like eradicate somebody out of a space.
You're not eradicating the M. You're not camping the M2 Titans. I think that's a bit more important.
Well, my
Rich can't
character is
generate
sitting in a
content that's not
Titan
handed
available
to
to
him,
jump
so
in
don't
a
feel
moment's
bad.
notice.
If you're
So
Big
I
Bill the
can-
boss, apparently that's the only thing that matters at any point at any time.
I got shit to do. I got at least 4 to 5 characters spread across New Eden doing things for various reasons, but
Oh,
Dawn
right.
is
You got
always
a jump
available.
You got a jump bridge to bash. Yeah,
You mean
very
like
well.
Yeah.
high seg mining? It's,
Actually, there's
it's very
no
tune
jump
intensive.
bridges.
Yeah,
There's no jump bridges.
There's no jump bridges.
No one
left.
has any jump bridges left.
So you got
So-
Asteroids to bash. Fuck.
I wanna ask
Athenors.
a question of the strategic minds in the room here, because obviously I'm not one of them. I have become sideline 13, which I feel like that's gonna stick for a while. Thanks for that, Vry. You piece of
What about
absolute trash.
Red Snapper's
Anyways,
looking pretty good, isn't it?
anyways,
That's the best
so-
part about being a director is I can change it whenever I have the whimsy to.
Yeah, I know. But the best part about being me is I can always change it back.
You really wanna do this?
Come
I will
on.
make you a role that
No,
has
you
no
won't.
power.
No, you won't.
I absolutely will.
Okay, don't do that. Just I'm kidding.
I
It's a
literally
joke.
my mission tonight is to finish Typherian's adopted role that all he gets to do, all he has access to is one channel that says looking for Typherian's dead.
Nice. All right. So anyways, my question for the more strategically minded, so there's obviously been post after post after post and bullshit after, well, not bullshit, but shit talk after shit talk of these titans trapped in M2. And I've mentioned before, like, is there anything that you guys can really think of that we would be using the titans for right now?
What we were using them for beforehand.
They're shooting Keepstars?
Bridges.
Shooting really.
Bridges. You right click bridge.
Defending the Basgerin citadels.
Oh,
I mean,
I
nobody would've-
absolutely. I can tell you for a fact I would have absolutely not mid all the way back to Basgerin to defend that fucking Keepstar.
Yeah, nobody would have gone over there.
No, because they just
I thought
keep
about
attacking it.
trying to
so-
find a wormhole and bring over X-wings, but it was dinner time
thank you
for me,
very
so I couldn't be bothered.
That would have
Thank you
been
very
about
much,
as
Blazing Bunny.
that would
Thank
have been
you
about
very-
as useful as a tornado fleet. Anyways,
Yes. Thank you very much, Blazing Bunny, you humanitarian.
It's really
What-
far,
what do you
dude. Like
mean?
fuck that.
Do you know how long it takes to get over there? It's 74
have-
jumps from where we stage in Delve.
Rich
Don't you have
Richmond.
a Keepstar chained all the way there?
14
long
of
could that
them.
be?
Yes, we do.
Unless
How
there's
long
a
could that take?
unless there's a
14
new
times
mechanic
30.
that lets you teleport to
7
fucking
hours.
Keepstars, then it still takes a
Seven-
long
That's like a
time.
day.
7
Jump
hours.
to
Yeah,
Pizza
a
Pitch.
whole day.
What do
A
you
whole
need them
day-
in Delve for?
Exactly. What do
Well,
we
right
need them
now
in
we
Delve
don't.
for?
Exactly.
So,
just,
but
you
my
should've
point
gone-
is
How
that
could you let them
we
die?
still reinforce the Keepstar in one smeb, right? So like there was no defense. How'd the armor timer go? I wasn't around.
The uneventful. There's some
Uneventful?
Feroxes, and then like there was a DD, and the DD hit half of the Imperium Ferox. Not half, but it was like half on the blues,
It's an-
half on the reds. It was
It's
great.
an uncored Keepstar, so the defenders didn't have quite the normal mechanics working for them like they're used to, and let's just say the Feroxes didn't work quite the way they're traditionally doing. So.
Hold on a second, Redline. You said you didn't participate. Cracks forming. I mean, how can you rag
Rich,
Dawn for
you
not...
shut up. You're the one complaining about 30% tie-dye and then be like, well, where are your Titans and Basgerin guys? Why aren't you blubbing? Like, yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
I'm
you hate
suggesting...
tie-dye.
I'm
Titans
suggesting...
showed up, it would have been...
I don't fucking tie-dye.
Piece of shit.
If Rich Richard had his way, every fleet would be capped to 50 people.
15,
and you couldn't jump...
not 15.
Yeah,
Let's be
you'd
real.
have
15
people.
How many of us Drakes appeared then? How many of us should have been Drakes?
Rich,
zero that
blood pressure. Nobody gives a crap about Drakes, dude.
6 Thrashers, 2
Rich,
Drakes.
Zero that mattered is the answer to that. Zero that mattered.
You're like the Mecca of Drakes, dude. Remember all the supers that died in Dell, but you're now the Drakes that, I don't know, lost all their brain cells listening to you?
Basgerin.
What?
All the... Maybe we should bring Nung Dinkle back on here. I'd like that.
Fuck no. I think I'm
It's like bringing a...
Speaking of ringing the dinner bell, so anyways, but realistically though, like we were able to reinforce that Keepstar without any issue, and we used some supers for it. There was no defense on the armor timer. How do you think the hull timer is gonna go?
Absolutely the same way.
Is there all of a sudden a core in it?
Yeah. We have to weigh the numbers here, right? So the Keepstar and Windsmith, we can't even reach from 1DQ. You have to go to another system to get there, right?
What?
And it's worth like
It's not in direct cap range or super
it's
range.
not in
of
direct super
1DQ.
range.
Gotcha. Okay.
So how many Keepstars? How many Titans is a Keepstar worth? Like,
You know what the nifty thing is,
3?
though? Even if you
2,
guys
3?
wanted to go defend it, I don't think you could really move your supers and Titans off the M2 Keepstar, because if you did, you'd leave it open for us to escape.
Yeah, I know.
So
right?
if you wonder, really, I mean, I'm trapped, right? Because I can't log in, but aren't you as equally trapped because you have to make sure I can't log in?
Mine's
Yeah.
Isn't this what Billy
It's
said?
I literally
Billy
said
has
this
been
last
saying?
week. It's the
I am the
Mexican
king
standoff.
of
We all
all
know
of the
this.
big brains, dude. I'm like
It really
soap
isn't
out
a
these
Mexican
brains.
standoff, though, because as much as people try to make the equivalent that things are equal, they're most definitely not. We're in the poor tactical position, right? And I think it's
You did say your nuts are in a vice.
yeah, like it's an effective way to say it, but that's not to say that you guys don't have to sit there with both hands clamping our nuts, right?
Come on, Billy. This is a talk show. Have some fun with it.
People pay extra for that usually.
I like the word picture that
Fucking
that
what?
on your
$2.99 to get your attention is what you're saying?
$2.99 for your attention, $5.99 to have your nuts squeezed.
But,
how much is it for a taser?
But there's absolutely some truth to the fact that it does require a constant upkeep from the Imperium, which takes away from their ability to conduct normal routine operations. And as we've seen in the last 2 days, 5 days, week and a half, I guess actually, there is a significant amount of fights taking place because Imperium is still kind of, or has been kind of, riding the morale high that they're willing to take fights in Euro and US time zone and AU time zone.
What do you mean willing?
And they're taking those fights, and now because they're taking those fights, they're losing them quite spectacularly, as we saw for I think the last 3 days running in EU time zone and basically every night in US time zone.
We lost one last night.
I believe we won the Detect WI Hub. The only reason why we didn't get the JP4 is because 5 nodes spawned in T5Z, and we were like, well, fuck that.
Well, winning
winning
a defensive iHub timer that's not a sub 3 iHub is. We can just make that DW iHub timer again tomorrow, right? Or
Yeah.
I think we actually did today, didn't we? I don't know.
And it's
But
gonna keep doing that.
Right, but every time we do that and we get a feed out of you, that's victor us, right? It's like the bonus, the sprinkles and icing on the cake was obviously taking JP4 as well. But
we did ref Detect W again today, by the way. Comes out
yeah, of course we did. It's just one of those things where if you take those fights and you lose them, you can't do that forever, regardless of what people may say. So it comes to a situation where sooner or later we'll come back to the point where Imperium is not willing to take fights again. But for right now, it's really interesting, because we're seeing a ton of fights being taken, which is resulting in a ton of losses, which is very quickly rebuilding Pappy's morale.
All right,
the
real
one today
quick.
obviously was like an absolute massacre, which is beautiful.
Good luck with your all's dumb nullsec war. Snuffed out #1. Anunnaki Keepstar is next, and then Kamal. God bless Snuffed out. God bless Lowsec.
Oh, bring it,
The
Bri.
gauntlet's been thrown.
Come to Kamal, my dude.
I'd love to see that actually. I would love to see that a lot.
Well,
Wait, hold on.
they did already. Like we've seen it. We've seen what happened.
Did I
Oh,
still-
Kamal's the RC one. I thought they were talking about a restaurant or whatever the fuck they call the
Oh, Siege
the
Green.
Siege Green
Oh,
one.
Secede or whatever.
Yeah, Secede. That would be fucking entertaining. Imagine a nullsec style Titan fight over the Secede Keepstar. That'd be fun. I'd enjoy that.
Even last Tuesday, Billy, the Dread fight, that was fun. That was great.
Which Dread fight?
Last Tuesday over the
Oh, yeah.
Astra.
Oh yeah,
So-
and then the fight before that was the carrier escalation. They didn't really do anything about.
So this M2 debacle has turned it into a catch-22 because, well, you can't really pull people out of there, otherwise you'll let people slip. But at the same time, you have to keep people diverted there, which means less people in other fleets. Is this what we're getting at?
Not
A
necessarily. I
little
mean,
bit, yeah.
they're still I mean, kinda, but they're still pulling a lot of numbers. Like it's not like they're fucking. Not like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
are,
Oh,
are
yeah,
actively
they're-
deciding.
I don't-
I'm
well,
gonna camp
They're
this.
not
I'm gonna
pouring numbers, so I guess motivation. Morale is fine. There is another resource now. Motivation.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
I think.
Go ahead, Jeremy. No, you go ahead.
But I think we can all agree that not having us camped in M2 would be the optimal situation, obviously. But I think that for what it is, it's definitely not as bad as a lot of people when it originally happened. Like you thought this was like the sky was going to fall down on top of us for a lot of people.
I mean, that's kind of the
But then
nature of the game, though, isn't it? Like, if
Yeah,
you just
that's
take a. That was not like no mistaking it. That the whole timer on M2 was a gigantic L, like the kind that's italicized and underlined and bold and has a really really pretty font. But at the end of the day, like life goes on. You have to. There's still ground to make up or ground to maintain, I guess. But
Yeah, I think we did pretty well, like recovering from that. And now, the past 2 weeks, especially, I've seen, like we are again consistently outforming in subcap, definitely Imperium whenever they show up to fight. So
Is that a surprise that you outform us?
well, I mean,
We
no,
weren't for a
but
while.
You
It wa-
literally
yeah, we
wouldn't
weren't.
take a fight when you had 100 people more than us. So what
well,
it,
we
it
weren't for
requires
a while.
what 400, 500
hold
to
on
get your
now.
balls back?
I don't know what this we shit. I'm not French. Americans would take that fight.
Yeah, Blaze. I'm leaving NC out of this because you guys have always been willing to throw down, and I appreciate it because it's usually fun. But I'm talking about the rest.
I mean, hey, I'll
Who
bring
literally
X-Wings
didn't take
anywhere.
fights because they only had 100 more than us. Get good.
Don't put PL in there with the rest of those people.
You guys are a
It would take
retirement home of nothing.
That's why we keep killing you, then, isn't it?
Oofed. So my
Move your rocker fast enough.
So
You know what
for-
I miss, Rain? Remember the 5P fucking safari ground where we just kill people off the 5P Keepstar over and over and over again?
Mm-hmm.
God, that's such a good time.
I miss that shit.
I can't wait to do it in 1DQ. That shit's gonna be a blast.
Hell, we'll find out tomorrow.
So is
Oh,
that
yeah.
when's the Keepstar, by the way? The one SMEB?
Thursday, U.S. time zone.
Thursday.
God, why is it so far away?
It's not even US time zone. I think it's like 2300, right, or something.
It
Like,
is in
it's-
the middle of
Oh shit.
bad time zone.
Yeah, it's in the
20
middle zone.
It's in like it's like
So-
2030, I think.
So
Straight up.
initially when we were I want to say back at the beginning there was the whole Anaconda coalition thing that we were doing, NEC coalition. Is it safe to say that that's kind of what we're doing now, in the sense that they're defending really heavily two systems, M2 and 1DQ, and that everything else is kind of subject to just being destroyed, depending
really
on the
wish-
circumstances without contest?
I really wish you wouldn't have said Anaconda because that meme just popped in my head the one I was put in your channel.
Yeah, that's fair.
I still think of the choke me harder thing. Every time you guys bring that up.
Pappy.
But is it true to a degree that essentially if this camp is never lifted, and if the defense of 1DQ never extends further out, that they could literally just trap themselves on an island in M2
I mean,
while everything
If it-
else around them's dead?
To be fair, if it wasn't M2, it would have been another system that we fought on. If finally fought with Titans on, or we'd still be trying to break into Helm's Deep. Like it, If it wasn't here, it'd be somewhere else. They're trying to island them on themselves onto. Like an animal is most dangerous whenever you back it into a corner, right? So
Yeah.
eventually, you're going to push them into the corner where they're the most dangerous. And I guess in this case, it was them too. But if it wasn't here, it'd be somewhere else.
It was an eventuality of this war.
My question is, did anything happen in Fountain? Did anyone go back up to Fountain?
No.
Is that important?
They got bored after 3 days and came back.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember going up there like once.
We were mostly curious just to see how initiative would react more than anything, I think, because that's the day we reinforced the Sov, right? The day they
Yeah.
deployed. We just purged 2 constellations, and I don't think anybody even bothered to put IHubs back, except for, French Connection put 1 back in Y2 or something.
There are a few constellations got put back like today or like 3 days ago, which is why I was asking about it. Like if you look near the constellation where it connects to Delve, you'll see like newly placed iHubs. But
Yeah.
anyways, I was wondering about that.
I would have liked to see, especially now that we're like very, very invested in Delve between the Imperium and whatever we're called now. I would have liked to see a couple of the smaller groups that joined us in the beginning of this war fighting over Fountain with the French Connection guys. But
French Connection's awesome.
oh yeah, I mean now it's the issue. So the issue whenever we were in Fountain the first time is those smaller groups really couldn't flourish in their normal playstyle just because you had the 2 major coalitions there. But now there's just less people, right? Kind of like what Vry was saying about Snuff. Now you have a lot more operating room for people who are operated at a smaller scale, either by intention or by, whatever reason. I would have liked to see Fountain turn into the game preserve that we all wanted it to be. Kind of like Tribute was.
It could still be if you guys would get Frat into behaving properly.
Behaving properly.
Frat's just a different time zone. Like they're just
You know
they kind of.
Go ahead, and then I will tell you why Tribute is the way it is.
Okay, Frat is like a different time zone from like everyone else in the game. Like I don't think, and not everyone else in the game. Everyone else in Goons. Like I don't really think there's a time zone in Goon Swarm that coincides well with Fraternity in terms of like content and stuff like that as well. And I think I know what you're about to say, Blazing, but go ahead.
Well, Ranger Regiment was supposed to be their match for, but unfortunately, just by nature of the amount of allies we've kind of amassed to undertake this eviction, is they're still outnumbering Ranger Regiment by quite a bit, right? But the reason Tribute is the special brand of fucked up, and I'd like to all take us back to whatever that dude's fucking name is. Lord Servant. The reason Tribute is so fucked up is because Lord Servant decided to run his mouth every day, all day, and got himself killed. That would be one more alliance that could try to defend Tribute. So if you want to really blame anybody for Tribute and Veil of the Silent being the way it is, blame Lord Servant. That's all I had to say.
Can you tell the story of Lord Servant?
He ran his mouth everywhere and anywhere, and he ran it so much that Noraus himself personally stepped down to deal with Noraus and to wipe his alliance off the face of the earth.
Not only Noraus, I moved Supers and Titans for one of those timers.
NC Dot was big on that shit. If you go to the earlier episodes of TTT, you'll see this drama unfolding on the show. It was some of the first original drama that we had on this Twitch server.
I know with PL
is due.
I know with PL we would ping for fleets and like no one would show up, and then we'd ping, hey guys, we're gonna go shoot Lord Servant, and we get like 50 dudes with Muck Barovian F-seeing us and Sleipnir's just like demolishing his shit. So much fucking
that's
fun.
That's how they get mucked up, right?
Yeah.
And after Forsaken Empire fell apart, I think he pissed off to somewhere else, and now his corp, I think it's the Envoys, has been absorbed by, where the fuck is Loki? Wrecking Crew, Dread Bomb.
You have cancer.
Sorry, did somebody just say my name?
That was just my point, though, right? You can't really blame Noraus because one guy ran his mouth too much and lost all of his space, and then the space around him. You could have had a tribute game. We all could have had a tribute game preserve, and it would have been lovely. You could go see the rhinos and the lions and shit on Safari, but no. Lord Servant ruined it for everybody, so thank you, Lord Servant.
Are you implying that the tribute residents should have evicted the Lord Servant themselves?
No, I'm saying Lord Servant should have shut the fuck up while he was ahead.
Look,
I told that dude way back when, like, dog, you're gonna keep talking shit, you're gonna piss the wrong people off, and they're going to boot you out of your space. And then we did.
My point at the time was that it's hard enough for small groups in nullsec to make it and to keep going and to have, you know what I mean? Like to be able to SRP things, for example, is like, one of those things you can't necessarily run Workles all day if you have like 50 dudes, right? So yeah, it certainly did not help matters at all. At all.
You
And it
have
was
one
unfortunate.
guy. You have one guy who has 3 Titans and he thinks he's king shit of a little area, and then this happens.
And then this happens. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was a learning experience. Maybe not. We'll see.
He came into my stream the other day, tried to run his mouth, and he's like, "My corpse there," and I'm like, "I don't see your fucking alliance though." Didn't say anything after that.
Just disclaimer: they are Lord Servant and Windjackal are valued members of Dreadbomb.
I'm
I
sure
love
they
you
are.
guys.
Are you getting paid to say that, Loki?
No, I'm just putting my
Just cutting 'em
disclaimer
off
in so I don't get in trouble or something. Because like
It's
I've
so
talked
good.
to I've talked a lot of shit about that. Like again, this was all on the show, right? And I was in NC Dot at the time, and blah 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 blah. So
And
it's
you
been
can't
an
tell the
interesting turn
truth,
of
huh?
events. No,
Gonna
no,
say,
I
You
mean
can't say
that
the
is
truth,
that
huh?
is
You
no,
can't say
that
the
is
truth.
that is
Well,
the truth.
listen,
That is the
whatever,
fucking
whatever,
truth.
I don't
whatever
want to
Corp
get
say.
kicked, Seto. Please, no, don't kick Loki.
Oh no, they're not gonna kick me. Like what? They're gonna kick my corp because I talked shit about Lord Servant one time.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking if he kicks
Listen,
everyone who's ever talked shit about that dude, I mean, I don't know.
if anybody's gonna get kicked, it's Lord Servant because my God, his corp is, a shadow
Bro,
of what it used to be.
imagine if he comes out of the woodwork to start running his mouth again and gets another alliance killed. Imagine that.
Oh,
Imagine that.
that's actually scarily realistic.
That was the meme about Bovril, wasn't it? The Bovril blood miner, the mining co-op or whatever, that every alliance they went to fucking died. I can't remember who they were in Mercenary Coalition for a while and they died.
They're in Goons right now.
Oh wow, it's like the future.
I mean, there are like members, I don't know, corp members that I've or actually one of the guys in my corp right now, one of my good friends for a long time, like every single alliance or corp that he's been in has like eaten shit like 6 months after he's joined or something like that, right? And it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill your alliance. It's like, I don't know, dude. It's just the way things work out. I mean, sometimes there is obviously correlation there. Like if a corp joins an alliance and then the alliance dies and then they join another alliance, the alliance dies. I don't know, but I don't know, dude. It's
an old lady cursed him.
An old lady cursed him, yes, when he was very young, and this
must
is
been Don Ray.
What? I stopped listening. What?
You're an old lady who cursed some guy.
I'm not
I was about
old.
to say that.
No, I'm just summarizing. Sorry.
that was over like the 1-800 hot chicks hotline, right?
Yeah.
Just checking. Oh, sorry guys, I'm very low energy tonight.
Okay.
You didn't eat all your bananas.
A week.
Nah,
It's been up and
Lord
down.
Servant has been sapping his ass of energy, along with Windjackal.
That'll do it.
So everyone, I've heard a lot of people in Twitch chat say that about Frat is moving back north. Are they actually leaving the war or no?
Their English division apparently is moving.
It's like
I don't
2
know what that means.
guys.
Could be 5.
They were so in the beginning of shit, we just talked about this the other day. They would put up decent enough numbers like whenever we were in Fountain doing stuff, but I think whatever happened, I think one of their big US time zone guys, either something happened, he couldn't form really anymore, so they I haven't seen them a bunch in US time zone. That granted, I can't really talk about where how they've been participating in other time zones.
Too bad Wagon's not here. But also, they're getting hit by the Freemen of the North, or whatever they want to call themselves. So they probably have to put some stuff back there to prevent them getting like steamrolled while they're deployed to the front.
Yeah.
Yes, but eventually the Protectorate General to pacify the North is going to roll into tribute, and we'll have to see what he does next.
Yeah, it's just a minor skirmish. Like I don't think it's anything major, but you have to commit like enough assets to guarantee it's not going to be a threat.
I believe Norhouse did offer them a good amount of money for their structure as a sov and such, and the offer was declined. Now he just has to obviously take it by force. What he's lost so far does cost more than what he could have paid the structures for, but, well, I digress. We'll have to see what happens.
It's like a flat circle, and we're back to the Basgerin Keepstar again.
I spawned. No, I'm not spawned. I'm not sucking Nora else off. It's the fucking truth. Like, it's a fact.
Facts, straight facts from Rich Richmond.
That's
the
all.
new talk show on the New Eden Post Network.
He already has one. If he ever wants to run it, the Richmond Report.
Yeah, it was bloody good last time. Completely changed the stream. Anyway.
What's our next topic?
I don't
think that
know,
was it.
honestly. I mean, we can talk about how some terrible culture shit is happening right now, and that's
No.
why
Oh.
I'm not talking.
Why are you
Is
gonna bring
because
this
I'm too
down?
busy. I'm too busy yelling in local. Well, not really yelling. I'm conversating in local in 1DQ, trying to defend myself.
As long as you're not in another fucking super clone,
thank
then
you.
you can defend yourself all you want.
Oh, thank you very much.
Wait,
Scrapyard.
am I in a super clone? Let me find out.
I could roll my
Don't even
insult
check
dice and just
anymore.
Okay. I'm
insult
not.
someone
When
randomly in
aren't
this
you in a
channel.
super clone?
All right. So here, what we'll do. So I honestly, so there was a lot of there was a
why are you
lot of
so
stuff
down
that
on?
happened,
Hold on a
but
minute.
it was like little stuff, right?
Hey, Redline, why are you so down on yourself? Like every clone I have is fucking super. Why aren't your clones super?
Oh my god.
Stop.
Everything-
Maybe if he wasn't.
You know, he's
fucking
right.
shit,
We just
right?
got some beautiful new skins for clones.
Exactly.
Redline has those.
All my
They
clones
look-
are super.
They're so cute.
I mean, they're not 5 billion when they die super like yours, but mine are all super.
Dude,
I've got the geisha face thing on one of my characters. Not
Wait,
because
wait.
it looks good, but like just because I got it. So
What's it called in game? Because I can never find it.
Oh, I have
for
two
us.
in the
literally
corp hangar.
got it
One
as a
sec.
gift. Everyone should have it.
Oh fuck! I don't redeem that shit. My characters are stuck in
It's in a
space.
box. It's in a box. Oh. Well,
I'm
it'll be there
gonna
hopefully
butcher
in
it, but it's
180 days.
the Psychadori or something like that.
Oh,
I can
it's my malediction.
Yeah, with your makeup on that face now, you too can look like Joker from the latest movie.
That's
really
so
like the-
racist, Rich. It's supposed to
How
be
is it
cultural for the
racist?
Japanese, not the
Oh,
Joker.
You walked right the
fucking
fuck up into that
report.
trap too.
Rich
Jesus
Richmond has now
Christ.
inserted an entire
called
shoe store into his
geisha.
mouth.
How dare you talk about Joaquin Phoenix like that, Rich? All right.
It is a cultural icon.
I'm
He was
aware.
Oscar rich.
I'm
Fuck,
aware.
I
it's
literally
just
just got out of the seat
somebody...
too early to PDS
hold on,
Redline.
hold on a second. Because of the
Why
red
would
and
you
white,
PDS me?
somebody
That's
made
fun.
a Joker image of it and fucking captioned it. I saw that and I thought, my god, that's creative. I need to do that.
Are you gonna
My God, I
cosplay
need
it?
to steal that man's joke.
I like it. It doesn't look good on my character. One of the
Yeah,
other
maybe
ones.
maybe next week's stream you'll see me in fucking clown makeup, and maybe I'll make
So,
a clown of myself again.
Rain, are you currently wearing the Storm Chaser's suit and cap crate or suit and cap?
Wait, there's a
As
storm
long as
chaser?
Yes.
As long as I
And
got my
Yeah.
suit and cap.
suit and cap, please.
Oh my god,
Honestly,
it's so old.
I have never changed how my
Actually pretty
character
cool.
looks after making it. Like I forgot what his like arms looked like. So
I
No,
have
but
a
it's
mechanical arm and a jacket.
I can
and
tell you I
stuff.
didn't try hard my character creation until I saw that dude from Snuff make his Nydia or some whatever. The guy who used to make those really, really in-depth art pieces.
Naiden.
Naiden, thank you.
I regret not buying a monocle. Just gonna say.
Also, I want to give a shout out because my entire character is from the Plex for Good. So the shirt that I use is from the Plex for Good campaign last year for Australia. The mask I use is for the Project Discovery, which is used to help fight COVID. My character is a
shit.
my character's a social.
good person.
I know it's a social
Really?
justice warrior in game.
Wait, so
Oh my god.
I applaud you.
last year?
Last year,
Yeah, it's been a whole
Australia.
year.
Actually, Rain, I'm curious for one thing. Hey, how much of a boost did your women-only channel get after last week's?
The thirst stuff.
Yeah, the fact that you
I
have
will
like
say-
the thirst. Yeah, you have the thirst thread and the hot
I
dudes
did
thread.
post at least twice in there.
Yeah, Dawn doesn't like lurk like the other women do because sometimes people will be like, "Oh, check out this cutie," and the channel explodes like 200 messages when I wake up.
You made it into the girl Discord? Oh,
Dawn's
Dawn. I thought you said Dom. I'm like, damn, Dominic, how'd you do that?
I'm not like one for. I don't typically seek out like girl only groups. Like I just joined Siren Swarm this year after like 4 years of them asking me. But It's like, well, I'll be in it and at least be available if
Wow.
they need it. I don't
So-
feel the need to need that, but
The New Eden store is down. I can't look at whatever that Storm Chaser shit that Redline was talking about.
It's not in the store. It's one of the gifts.
Oh well, even if it was in the store, you couldn't find it because it's down.
Oh, what you do is you look at it and just like open the market and then you can click on it.
Oh, that's way more work than I was really willing to put forth for this.
And there's also t-shirt and pants. Love pants.
Weren't they coming out with like a suit and tie for fucking? I thought I saw the concept art for it.
The jacket that you've got on my character on screen took me 3 years to get.
Why?
Because it's discontinued, and it got discontinued pretty close to after I joined the group that uses it. So
Windstorm?
that took a long time.
What group uses it?
A group that doesn't exist.
Reddit Swarm?
No.
Tether Swarm.
Sure. What you think?
Yes. All right. So Don just did. Wow. Someone said we're running out of stuff to say. Do you guys think that's true?
I didn't even know it was an hour and a half in. This has been flowing.
I know, right? We've just been talking. Like we're just
You
talking.
even
We're having a
bitched
good
to
old
me
time.
about people like making you feel bad.
Huh? I haven't even bitched at you about people making me feel
No,
bad.
you have not
Yeah.
bitched about that yet.
Yeah, you had like a whole spiel, right? I'm ready.
I mean, I did, but I kind of also don't because it's I don't want to get into it. I just
Can
don't
I
want to.
just, Redline, do you want some constructive feedback?
Sure.
If we're gonna do sad stuff on the show, can we do it at the end so then that way nobody has to try and talk?
No,
'Cause,
that
like,
made me tear up. Blazing.
I teared up too. Yeah.
Because I empathize with other people's feelings. Like I didn't know the guy, but I could hear and feel your like.
All right.
Your
Let's
emotions.
have that
Yeah.
conversation
No,
then.
fuck off, Redline.
I was very sad.
So here's the
You guys are
thing. So
tearing up.
the reason why I wanted to do that first is because I wanted to preface the show with the fact that we're all fucking human beings, right? So one thing that I've noticed lately, and Wormius in the chat says it just as I predicted he would, is that there is a lot of dehumanizing going around. There's a lot of making fun of people, a lot of bullying people, and not in a joking way, in a way that is just downright I don't want to say inappropriate, but mostly uncalled for. And it comes from all directions, but it really feels like after this long fighting, it would just be commonplace to, I don't know, not be a massive asshole. Is that far fetched of me to expect that people aren't just going to be massive dicks for no reason? Like I just spent 20 minutes defending myself against somebody in 1DQ saying I was a racist, and I've never said anything racist in my life. I've never done anything racist or been involved with racist things in my entire life. Yet
did kill
suddenly,
Preeb.
like Preeb's a child. That's
Oh.
that's
Killed a
different.
child.
So you're just a child murderer then.
Yeah, I mean
And that's okay.
Yes,
that would be better.
It is.
That would be better than a racist in my mind. But just the fact that I'm chilling out in 1DQ, just watching to see if anything happens, so I can pop it on stream, and have some fun. And I got this guy in chat just being like, "Oh hey, racist scum," and I'm like, "The fuck do you mean? Are you kidding me? Like literally, go fuck yourself."
You're never gonna win with them because like people say shit to me, and I'm like, I don't even know where that's coming from.
I'm not a fan of the recent mockery of how people speak, their mannerisms, their pauses, these type of things. Because I found the post talking about Vili and Pro Gods and those type of things in poor taste, because this is something that people use every day. It's their voice, and to attack it, it's like you're gonna use this character to assassinate someone. You're gonna use their voice, something that they use every day. That, well, to a less confident person, that hurts, because then you start feeling insecure about just simply how you sound and how you speak, and that fundamentally changes how you behave.
So
I'm back. Sorry.
Let me
Sorry,
fully
y'all.
let me fully disclose that I couldn't give a shit what some rando in 1DQ says about me or what people post on Reddit about me. I could not care less. Just, it's annoying.
Can I just, I want to call out Wormius for a second though, because he's talking about harden the fuck up, the HTFU. If you watch the CCP song and read their lyrics, they're not talking about, hey kids, just deal with whatever other players throw at you. What they're saying is, if you're going to follow us to the top, as in, if you're going to rise with CCP and rise as an EVE player, you need to harden the fuck up and not be a shitbag. Isk scamming scumbag disturbing the peace. Whoop whoop. It's the sound of the space police. It's not saying some special snowflake crying because their feelings got hurt. It's not saying that. So whenever people use harden the fuck up as some sort of excuse to say, herder, this is Eve, you gotta be harden the fuck up. No. Go back and watch the song, go back and read the lyrics, and actually pay attention to something if you're going to quote it.
Is Rain throwing down bars?
That's
and
true.
we do have
I
a
totally
show.
support her.
We do have a show called, oh shit, I enabled sub only chat. Sorry.
Well, so I'll jump in on that.
We do actually, we have a show called Trash Talk Tuesday, but we only talk about in-game shit. We don't talk about anything out of game. We don't talk about people's personal lives. We only talk about things that happen in game. So we had Vry and Ivy on. They did a little bit of a show for us, but it's all in-game stuff, right?
And everyone's here by their own choice, right? We understand what's going to happen. We actually talk beforehand. We talk afterhand. We talk very civilly. We kind of line up. It's a bit of entertainment. Like wrestling isn't real, guys. News break, right? This
you
is.
son of a bitch.
There's elements. I know I fucked it. There's elements to this that are real, but we're not being total raging shitbags to each person individually and literally taking someone out. Maybe it happens when other people come in, and you can clearly see the difference between the people who are here on a regular basis, people who actually kind of care and like each other, and then the total shitbag that comes into this channel. You can hear it. You know the difference. You all know you do, and that's completely different than what you're suggesting we should do.
Yeah, I'm finally back. What is it? Were you guys talking about Vale and Tribute?
We were a
From what
little
I've
bit.
heard.
We were blaming all of the reason the Veil and Tribute is the way it is on Lord Servant.
That's fair, right? Also, why is nobody voting for Pretzel? You guys are trash.
Hey.
Sucks.
Pretzel Talk Tuesdays?
No, Pretzel
Yes, I love-
M&Ms.
Pretzel's the worst.
Pretzel's the worst.
Why,
yeah.
where's fudge? Why do you have chocolate and say obviously this? That's so basic. You don't have peanut. You don't have the crispy one. You don't have dark.
Okay, look, I didn't have a million options that I could choose.
You should just put other for pretzel. I think that would have won. You could have claimed it was pretzel.
The white chocolate one. What the hell?
Okay, clearly there's too many. Clearly there's too many M&Ms, and that's not. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about the fact that pretzel M&Ms are really good. They're really good. They're like chocolate pretzels.
Clearly not the favorite. I get it.
No,
I can't even get them in
I'm
down
going
here in
to
Australia.
completely go back on what I just said. You're an idiot if you think the pretzel M&Ms are good.
I voted for it. It's just a shame that I only have one vote to give.
The dark chocolate M&Ms are the best. Come on.
Dark chocolate is the best. I have to agree.
Dark chocolate's too bitter.
You're
But
bitter.
that's what
You're a bitter old lady on a call-in line. Come on.
This
now.
gets better. This gets
Is
better
really
and better
good.
every time we add a new adjective to
on
it.
a rotary phone.
I like
With the
milk
Rolodex.
Smoking Salem.
The Rolodex.
What do you want? Hello.
Anyway, so
when the
what do we
1-800 hot
wanna-
chicks line has to call other people to make money.
My name's Don. What do you want to do?
So what do we want to talk about right now? Is there anything fun you guys want to talk about?
This guy keeps bringing up that Pitts is still an NC dot, and I can tell you from my point of view as a director for his corp, I'm absolutely never going to kick Pittsburgh for that. Like, sorry. If that really upsets you, then you can lodge a formal complaint, send Brother Bob. You can look it up in in-game mail and tell him all the reasons why you're mad at Pittsburgh.
Oh my god, dude! So you guys could fucking open up a bottle of whiskey and laugh at it later.
Well, I mean, I'll just get Steve to make a bot that forwards it to the Discord.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit more about Vale and Tribute and stuff.
No, we want
if
to
you
talk
guys
about we want to talk about the racist meme.
That dog
See,
bed
nobody
that
wants to talk
Pittsburgh
about that.
Sensei was so cute.
See, no one
The
wants to
ramen
talk about
bed
that shit
was
anymore.
adorable.
It's dumb. Anyway, all right. So tell us about Tribute and Veil.
I got a dip. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you, dude.
Yep.
Take care, bunny.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we anchored the Keepstar in H-5 a few months back. That became our staging ever since. And yeah, we want most of Tribute, if not all, or most likely evict people from there. Yeah, so it's just a back and forth until war will be ends, until we can, bring
What?
bring the kicking them out and bringing the hammer down and stuff.
So
right now it's just
You have like 4 regions already.
Don,
Uh,
you're cutting out pretty bad. But
Yeah.
You did offer to
I think
purchase
the
those
question
structures,
that
Wagon.
I think the question that Don is asking is, when is enough going to be enough? Like, how many regions do you guys hold right now?
let's see, Oasa, Peregrine Falls. That's what is it? And Venal. That's it. And the
What
And you
about
Vale.
want
Cobalt
tribute,
Edge?
and you want
Hold up.
tribute and Veil.
What happened
Cobalt
to
We
Edge
already
is
hold
different.
most of Vale.
Okay, so you hold Veil. So I'm hearing 5 or 6.
What,
So how far are you going to go? Are you
Wagon,
going to
what
push all the
about
way over to Declan?
No.
Wagon, what about Cobalt Edge?
Cobalt Edge. That's Veni Vidi Vinci. That's they're
Oh,
part
come
of
on.
PanFam. No,
They're
I'm
part
serious.
of PanFam? No fucking way.
Yeah,
No,
they
they're
are.
actually part of
Yeah.
PanFam.
Oh my god.
DJ has adopted cow.
Very well.
No way.
No, I'm serious. They are not a part of Frat. We're blue to them, but they're not a part of Frat.
Understood.
Yeah, VVV is definitely a part of PanFam. There are bros. That's PanFam space over there. You don't got to worry about that space. You just leave it alone, and you don't mess with it.
Are you kidding me? 4LED is great. Anyway, so how goes the campaign to pacify tribute? I understand that Noraus did offer to buy some structures, but they didn't appreciate the price, and now they've sort of destroyed more than the price that you could have bought all the structures for. But content is content.
Yeah, content is content. Keeping Frat entertained during is pretty hard right now because of just Delve. The time zone's kind of crap for work days, and for weekends people are not willing to wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. to fight.
How soon do you expect this pacification campaign to finish and to take over it?
I'm not sure. Because I don't make those decisions, Norris does, and I don't have access to a lot of stuff like that.
So let me just double check. So you guys are planning on taking the regions that essentially Ranger Regiment and Siberian squads held before they got murder bombed into oblivion, right?
Yes.
Plus Tribute and Veil, which are the regions
Mhm.
that NC and PL held before they got murder bombed into oblivion.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Fair.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of Siberian squads, I believe Hanzo Viper has taken Siberian squads out of Legacy recently. He's been FCing for Bandalogs quite a bit against Volta the past few weeks.
Ooh.
How was the separation, Billy? Was it on good terms or?
Yeah, it was fun.
Very well. Do you know what Hanzo Viper is going to do now that he's taken Siberian squads out of Legacy? Is he going to head back north to claim his former space and?
If I had to
help,
take a wild guess, he will be heading off to go join Banderlogs and head over towards Pureblind, Declan, and Cloudring area, somewhere in there.
Ooh,
They've
Imperium News just
been
went
working
live.
with Banderlogs against Volta for the better part of the last 6 months.
Yeah, I've noticed he's been commanding fucking bandy legs against Volta the past starting at least in December. Will they be missed?
I mean,
course they'll be
yeah, they'll
missed.
certainly be missed. It's not. I'm trying not to downplay, but the reality is they showed up to very little in terms of the World War B related stuff. So I don't think it's going to have a large amount of impact on the war. But they held space in Legacy territory. They were good guys. They'd show up with a fleet every once in a while when you needed it. I've got nothing bad to say about them.
I'd say you got the best one of the better groups out of the GOTG destruction.
Well, I think they were the best group to come out of that implosion, yeah. But it's hard to say we got the best out of it when we no longer have them, right? So we rented them for a while or something, I guess you could say. But I wish them the best. I think they're a good alliance. They've got a good culture. I think they'll go up to Pure Blind, is my assumption, and they'll have some fun and they'll do some interesting things, and all the more power to them.
Yeah, that's part of the life, though, in a big coalition-based thing like Legacy, right? Where it's a bunch of alliances and stuff. People will come and go. They change direction. Life happens. Game happens. Personnel changes, right? So people are missed. The people you play with are missed. But the people left behind keep their eye on the ball, and you wish the others goodbye. If they're being booted because there's issues and stuff, then that's very clear as well. But there's an ebb and flow to having, being in a big part of something like Legacy, right? ARP, we see this all the time. Other people do. I've seen it in the game for a decade or more. It's just how this works, which is in contrast to just one big alliance where everything is stuffed into one alliance. I think that was actually even referenced if in the fireside or whatever we had over the weekend. But that's just a reality of this type of organization. And so if you
Well,
want to,
Legacy is built fundamentally differently than the Imperium, right?
that's what I'm saying. Exactly right. But that is how that's been for a decade or more for the big coalition-based alliances, right? You have to live that way.
I don't know if you do have to.
Or you become the goons, right? It's one or the other generally.
Nothing wrong with being a goony goon. We have a great time.
Or the Imperium. Let's say the Imperium, right? So those are really the two main entities that have had a capability of surviving those styles. I mean, I guess you can try to live as a bunch of standalone alliances, but that normally doesn't last too long, right?
Dawn, I'll
Unless
have
you're
you know,
small-sized alliances.
Dawn, I'll have you know, there's everything wrong with being anyone in Eve. There's no saints here. There's something wrong with everybody.
The entire point of the game is to fuck other people over, right? Like, I take what I want, something that you have, because I can take it. So I take it, right? The weird fucking shit around, like, I need to feel like I'm morally superior, or I need to, like, dehumanize my enemy to the point of, it's crazy shit. I don't understand what the fuck people need to smoke to play this game. I play this game because it's fun. If I want to go take a region, I take the region, and I do it because I can. And because it's part of the game, and because I'm part of a PvP alliance, and that's just it, right? Like, I don't understand that all the shit that's going on is, it's fucking, at this point it's beyond me. But yeah, at this point, like, I don't know, nullsec alliances are basically forced to join one of only a few coalitions. I don't like, they don't necessarily have to, but then they have to be diplomatic as fuck, because if you're in the block with some candy, like, somebody in this game is going to take it from you. And I don't know, man, like, I don't feel like, we've talked about this before. We talked about this specifically in relation to Tribute and the little groups that were there at the time. I think Billy's point was that there are plenty of ways to make money, which I'm sure is true. It's just, I don't know if maybe some of these PvP alliances are equipped with the tools or the know-how to immediately start making money right off the bat in this game. Like, I think at this point, if you want to be good at PvP, you also have to have some Care Bears in your group and be doing some smart plays and shit like that. I don't think that that's a bad thing. I just think that I would like to see nullsec be small PvP groups be able to thrive and be less industrial, if that makes any sense. And I mean, I'm sure you guys can slaughter me because I could be talking out of my fucking ass, but I miss the days of, like, the nomadic PvP groups to a certain extent.
Or
Welcome
you
to
can just
Fozzie
plex.
Soft.
Well, I mean, and the fact that, like, you need to anchor, like, so if I want to make my guys some money and we want to, like, I don't know, build some ships, or, like, we're literally putting rigs into structures, that I don't like that. You know what I mean?
The fact that you're kind of touching on the point of, like, someone was like, what if someone's a storm chaser to always follow storms around to get, like, good shit out of the storms, right? I said that's impossible, because you gotta put a building down, and that could take 1 day to a week to anchor, and then you gotta fit it up, and then if you want to take it down to follow whatever you're fucking following, it takes another week to pull it up.
Or you need, like,
Where's that?
crazy logistics to get it to one
Right,
place,
it's
right?
such a
Yeah.
Like everything in the game right now encourages you to find a spot, sit down, enjoy it, or find someone else's spot and fuck with them till they leave because it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think ProGod was talking on the show about, I think it was the show about the days in Nelly Secunda where they would literally just be like, all right, we're moving. We're going to go fuck with these guys. And they would like literally just unanchor their pauses. And in like, a couple of days, they were fucking gone. Right. And they're on to the next region. And I don't know, man. I kind of miss those days because it certainly made PvP and nullsec a lot more dynamic. Yeah.
And not just super caps.
And not just super caps. Yeah, that's true. I mean, back then you had the skill ceilings. You didn't have the skill points. You didn't already have the massive work ISK printing machines and all that. So, I mean, moving forward, I don't know, man. Like, if you keep like building mountains to climb, if you make a better Titan or you make a something that will easily kill Titans, like the next super class of things or whatever. Like I don't know. I feel like you can
Tech
to
2
some
Titans?
extent you can to some extent
3
normalize it.
Titans.
Maybe. And again, this is not my area of expertise. So you guys can like fucking flame me if you want. I'm just trying to make like chat a little bit more dynamic here because I feel like we're stalling.
So wait,
Loki's low energy. I need to bring up the energy so that we can like
so
just
stop. Someone's saying goons are feeding in K-Tech 6K. Do you have a
Their
alt there,
Memorial
Redline?
Fleet.
It's the
Oh, okay.
Memorial Fleet that's dying.
Oh, okay.
Asher and Dawn are feeding in period basis too.
I'm already dead. Like we don't need to worry about that.
Oh, is that Reaver's new thing? Just
Yeah.
like get as far away from the actual war as possible because you're not
Yeah.
burnt out from having 14-hour tie-dye slug fests. Huh.
I'll never know
Huh.
what we're
Interesting.
doing, where we're at.
I mean,
But
we
Redline, I thought
what
you
you're
loved
doing.
14-hour tie-dye fests.
I
Talking
never
about
said
us.
that I never said that I didn't. I am simply what I am saying is that when you go away from an active war zone to a smaller variant of that war zone, that you are literally telling everybody that follows you that you are worn out from having all the giant long fights.
I mean, if
But
you want to keep believing that, but okay.
I give props to Dave Archer, Mr. V, those guys who are, still in the actual war zone doing war zone things. But
Blood.
How's Mr.
I
V
mean,
doing? If we
Mr.
rated Mr. V, I'm not in this, so I
Mr.
haven't
V's
really seen it.
fantastic.
well,
Yeah.
Mr. V lost a whole Munin fleet either today or yesterday. Something
There's
like
not
Mr.
enough
that.
V's
to
fantastic.
I have a
Lost
question
the
for
Eagle
Rich.
Fleet today.
Why are you so adverse to doing the hard things in Eve?
What do you
Personally,
mean?
the personally hard things, Rich.
Oh wow, we're just
Wait.
gonna
What?
go back.
What?
Yeah.
Go back to that.
Well, no,
Fighting
I
Just
mean,
gonna,
one
he's
we're
set
just
brought it
gonna
up
tie-dye?
he's brought it
completely.
up like 4 times, and I'm just sitting here wondering why.
You know, we had an entire show about Rich and
I
his small ganging ways,
I know.
and nobody watched it because literally no one cares.
We'll address
Oh,
it
that's
another
fair.
time,
There
Randall,
was a
but as of
show.
right now, we're talking about your war, your battles, and the fact that one of your best FC seems to have left to Brave. Say hello to Facial Wipe for me.
Oh
Huh?
no, my Drake fleet in low sec.
Facial's a great guy. He's free to go where he wants to go with his corporation. That's the beauty of it. That's what I was just saying. Great guy, wonderful human. Nothing but great things to say, and I still get to fly with him. That's the beauty of Legacy. So, he's just moved his stuff with his corp, and I'm happy for him. AARP's happy for him. It doesn't, I have nothing bad to say about it. And it's not, but you can try to spin it as negative as you want, but that's how this works.
I got nothing negative to say about him. He's a great fella, despite the fact that we clowned his fleet.
Well,
I mean,
sometimes shit happens in Eve, right?
Good job,
clowned us.
Rich. Good job cleaning his sleep. So one thing that I do wanna just go back because I this M2 thing, I didn't quite beat it as dead as I could. So I'm curious, and this again is for the strategically minded. So Dawn, me and you are gonna be quiet, okay? Jeremy, you
No,
too. We're
I
gonna be
I put
quiet.
out my
No.
resume for
We're gonna be
Mr.
quiet. This question is posed entirely at Villy. Mr. Villy, what happens when M2 TAC XFE becomes jammable and has a jammer anchored and online and actively preventing Sinos from being lit in the system? What happens there?
Not much. If they got Sinojam, it means they can't Sino in either. It actually
That's not
allows us to.
true.
Actually, it is. So it's important to understand. We can go tap the jammer if it's online, and it's now stuck being Sinojammed for 15 minutes of non-tie-dyed time, right? So you can't really turn the jammer on at any point or leave the jammer on, right? Because otherwise we can force you to leave the jammer on, and then we just log in,
I
and
mean,
ta-da, all of a sudden we get a free breakout. So the jammer doesn't work
I mean,
that
what,
way as effectively as like people are thinking. It does have some tactical relevance, don't get me wrong, but like it's not some like instant I win, the camp is 1,000% stronger. It provides some tactical play around it, but it has, much like when we engaged in M2 Part 1, the jammer's relevance is limited.
So if the jammer in M2 is irrelevant, then what makes the jammer in 1SMEB so relevant?
jammer just makes it harder.
One thing's an attack at a temporary time or a singular time, and one thing's a non-stop 24/7 camp.
So one thing is like a gate, the other is like a wall. Yeah?
No, so like one thing is a tactical, tool used in a tactical situation. The other is a tactical tool used in an ongoing situation where its usage cannot be as effectively used. I don't know how to say it properly, but the way in which the Sinojammer is useful in the camp is not always effective. Whereas, in the situation with OneSmeb, you turn on the Sinojammer and they can't jump in, right? But because it just works differently fundamentally.
Right. So and I know how that does it. So what are the fundamental differences? Because you've got on the
One's
one
a
hand,
singular point attack. One is a 24/7 camp.
right? All right, fair enough. I was trying to get a Sinojammer explanation so that we could get all that out there in the chat. But anyways, that's fair enough. So the Sinojammer in M2 is not going to make too much difference. If we want to get in there, it's like we're just going to jump in the gate because all subcaps going in, log in, activate hack, jump out, easy peasy. So if you're harping and really crowing about the Sinojammer, don't do that because that's stupid. Heard it here first. But on that,
That goes for you
God,
guys too.
huh?
That goes for you guys too. Like,
What do you mean?
you're like, oh, we got less South 3. Woo.
No one said that out loud. Wait. There's never been a Reddit
Before him
post.
too, y'all were
There's
fucking
never been a
like,
Reddit post that's been like, "Ah, we got Sov
never,
3 in this system."
never.
There hasn't. Find one, and I'll give you a billion isk.
There's
Oh.
a because there's a difference between the Sov 3 for killing
Doesn't have a billion
and
is?
Sov 3 for extracting capitals. Like, it's not the same reason at all for Sov 3. One of them
I'm
you
not arguing that. I'm just
Okay.
saying y'all like to jerk yourselves off about it.
Because for your situation, it's not nearly as important. Well, it is important. It is a help, as an advantage, but it's not as important as getting Sov 3 in a Keepstar system.
No.
And
Well, the jump bridge wouldn't work if the Sinojammer's up. But wouldn't it be funny if we put the jump bridge from 1DQ to M2?
I mean, we just kill it.
I mean,
You don't break tether, so
Like we literally just
a
kill
lot of
it
dead
in
Titans say we
1DQ. I mean, okay, but at the same time, since M2, those Titans are pretty much just kind of hung out there, and only engaged when it's super
I've been
safe.
killing a Titan every other morning, roughly.
I mean, that's cool.
Every few days.
I'm sure that's fun. I'm sure that's great.
Actually,
But
the hyper special
remember,
one was pretty funny. That's funny how that worked out, actually.
you can only kill one Titan a day for a maximum of another 317 days. Maximum.
True.
Mhm.
If You know
Well,
what?
there's
If you
also
guys can keep this hell camp
Pro
up,
God told us that there is a guaranteed 1 to 200 capitals and 1 to 200 supers. So there's potentially 4 to 500 other targets on top of the 317 Titans. So we
You think
have
so?
what 700 available targets. That is per Pro God on Sunday, telling us that 1 to 200 regular caps and 1 to 200 super caps on top of the 317 Titans. So I'm
For
sure
the
the
record,
camp
that
will
was
be
me, not ProGod.
okay. You know what? Thank you for the correction.
Yeah,
'Cause I
so
do want to be
Villy,
accurate as much as possible, but thank you.
since Villy said it, Villy, let's hear the numbers. How many ships are here, and why is it only 17?
What?
I'm just kidding. It's a joke. I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm sorry.
I
So
thought it was funny. That was very good.
there's people in the chat talking about how triggered I am because I'm just trying to say things and have some fun, but it's fine.
No.
So what's the situation really like in them two? How many ships do you think are here? Just not in terms of like what kind of ships they are, just how many ships in total, and
I don't know, somewhere in the 500-600 range, I'm sure.
Is there 500,000 US
Yeah, like if
dollars
you
worth of Titans? Because that's what
I
Mitten
mean, if
said.
there's 320 Titans, there's at least half again as many supers and at least 100 or 200, you know, fax, dreads, whatever, right? Like, it seems impossible to me that there wouldn't be.
So
You know, a
$500,000
lot of them were
actually?
dying during the fight, like regular caps, but I'm certain there must be at least a couple hundred.
if you look at the video, because you can watch Redline's VOD, our VOD, Talking Stations VOD, you can see at the end of the just the bottom section, not that many made like jumped out. Like, yeah, a portion did, but we estimated at least 300 to 400 like caps were stuck down there. And then it's kind of a toss up on what the fuck ended up in the top, because some of it like ended up back in M2 or sorry in T5Z, and some ended up staying there. Some are kind of like perpetually bouncing around until somebody finally logs in the character.
I mean, you guys probably won't believe me, but there's actually a lot less at the top than I thought there was.
I
Just
can
the way
believe
it all
it.
worked.
I mean, it's yeah, the server wasn't working like as intended, so
Well, they are saying that the bulk of them are down below in the bubbles below the Keepstar, which is obviously where they've focused most of their camp. But I don't know. I just don't remember seeing that many. I mean, I remember seeing
that
a whole
I
lot
will
of
pull
wrecks
up the
up at the
video and
top.
I'll start counting.
No, you don't have to do that. I'm just saying, like,
I will pull the bot and start counting.
maybe it's something where I just didn't realize it was that many because they were all so clumped together. That's very possible. I'm not trying to say that there's not as many as there are. I'm just saying, like, it didn't seem visually like that many when I was watching it take place.
That's because you were busy getting handed your butt.
I was just watching. I don't
Redline
have
would
a
actually have
Titan.
to fly a ship.
Gratha was flagging into you.
I
Speaking of
mean,
that, you might be
barely.
interested in this coming week's State of Thursday.
What's happening?
Is Grath on
Well,
the show?
I don't know. It depends.
on what?
Tentatively.
Are you just like saying Grath is on the show so you can try to muscle him into coming onto the show? Because I don't know if Grath is the guy who's gonna get muscled.
Listen, I ask a lot of people a lot of questions with almost zero commitment. So we'll find out. I'm just saying, it could be a fun week.
Fair enough.
But you didn't ask me, which is why I will
I'm
take
just saying.
the last moments that I have of the extremely popular Trash Talk Tuesday and shout out Lasers and Lace, which is on at 0200 on Thursdays, every
Great
single
show.
Thursday, right
Fully
here on this
supported.
channel.
Great show, fully supported.
Yep,
Oh
love
yeah.
it.
I hate to say the one episode I have watched, like they were talking about butt plugs for like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's about it.
They do whatever they
did have
want.
I did
It's
see like
fucking amazing.
I
They don't
saw
give a
like
shit
20
about
minutes
what
of
anybody
the
thinks. They just do things.
Oh, so they
Fantastic.
can talk about blood plugs, but the second
Yeah,
I
I
bring
know,
it up
right?
here, everybody jumps over Loki. All right, gotcha. I see how it is.
No. So they talk about butt plugs in the sense of like as objects. You talk about them like tools.
Oh, that's
There's a
different.
big difference.
That is different, yeah.
They also have
Like,
butt plug swag, which I don't think anyone else can talk about, but that's how it relates to Eve.
No, I'm just saying like that's like that was like the first episode I saw was them talking about that, and then like The another episode I watched later was like the Logi episode, which is the only episode that I was like, man, I wish I was on.
Dawn is like
Because,
100%
like,
committed to the show now. Logi and butt plugs, just like fucking locked in, boys.
no, see, I'm running my own show at the time, so I just don't.
Oh, I
have
see.
time to watch
So you have to just watch it on YouTube.
Nope, never done that. Maybe I will. I've watched the Logi episode on YouTube. That's about it.
So they did do some pretty good. They did some pretty good shows with CCP Convict and CCP Aurora. We got to learn why CCP Convict is named Convict, not because he stole a kangaroo. All sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, Delana's in chat too. She's one of the hosts. It's great.
Hey, Delana. Welcome.
Well, I guess realistically, I'm out of stuff to talk about. Maybe next week we can get some people from the.
Well, don't they have the new Fleet thing coming out tomorrow? Or
I don't care about that at all.
on the 28th?
I care zero bits about that.
Aren't you
Anything
excited to set up a public fleet to like trap movies and take them out the milk to kill?
anything
Yep.
that makes this game more like World of Warcraft, I am violently opposed to. Instance PvP, count me out. Friggin' looking for a group, count me out. But I digress. But I
Speaking of
think
looking for a group, Banana Republic is recruiting.
bingo.
Fuck, I forgot my drink.
Yeah, everybody take a drink.
Are we actually ending on time? Like, do we do shoutouts now with 5 minutes left?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can do shoutouts with 5 minutes left. Villy's just gonna leave, and we'll do our we'll do our thing.
Can I do shoutouts
There he
first?
goes. He's gone. He left.
Damn it! You could have done Billy first on the shout. God
I
damn.
tried that
One
one
real-
time.
I have
I
another
tried
real
I
quick,
tried to do Villy first, and he just left
I
immediately.
have a real quick Rich question. Rich, did you actually get? Someone sent me a message that said you got kicked out of your corporation. Is that true?
He has not divulged, but he did say he's not part of Wagons anymore.
No,
Like
I'm
you
looking.
got kicked out for your misbehavior last week. That's the quote I got.
No.
Okay,
Before.
that's an answer at least.
So what did you get kicked out for?
I am leaving to try out new things, try out new fleet doctrines, and well,
Oh, he's gonna
Small
lie.
gang,
different
low
kind
sec
of
warfare
small
got you
gang.
down, Rich?
He's gonna go try
We'll
tie dye.
see.
Hey, Rich, I could definitely use your help in some places and things.
Stop it.
I'm not bashing a fucking
It's
structure.
It's a high sec mining trap.
You don't.
Rich, don't
You
do it.
don't have
Don't
to
do
bash
it.
the structure.
How did we
So-
not talk about this before? You fuckers knew about this shit and nobody said
I mean,
anything
yeah,
while
we
we're
kind of knew
grasping at
about it.
straws.
Well,
All
we
right.
respect.
I
Rich saying
know, I
that I'm
know.
respecting
Okay,
his,
so
preferences.
while we go
I
through
know.
final thoughts, I am gonna put a poll in the chat that I
Well,
really want you to know, want you to answer to. Did Richmond get kicked from Corp or no?
Well,
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Given that I was at the time that I left, I was the top wormhole scanner, and I was a top fragger, discounting my dear friend Kavegi's just
You're
spot
still
mobbing adventures. I'm on the kill boards. I'm top fragger. I'm up by 20% above the guy below me.
All right.
And the amount of time I spent there, it was with heavy heart the decision I had to make to seek a new adventure. It wasn't easy for me to make that decision.
Rich, I have a very
So
difficult.
I'm reluctant to talk too much about it.
I have a more difficult question to ask you actually than even
Yeah.
that. Do you fly a 1.5 billion ISK malediction, and did you lose it to rats?
Oh, I lost it to in high sec as I was moving stuff out. I was between alt tabbing. Thankfully, the abyssals and such and everything I recovered, and all in all, I lost like 700 something mil worth of stuff. It's water under the bridge.
I know, dude. It's actually.
But for realsies,
I left
Wait, you
Loki. I
like
left
hybrid?
Loki in an expensive Tengu in a 0.5 system, but thankfully my sex status is only like minus 4.5. I was like totally like I just totally like I thought I had already gone to Kamal and Dock, and I left it in like I Hall, which is like a couple jumps out, and was taking care of some corpse shit. And like an hour later, I come back and I'm on a gate in Isaac. I'm like, oh my god, I had a heart attack.
Well,
It happens,
You
dude.
want to know what caused this low sex store shit? It was a fucking Basgerin Sotio. Fucking haunting me from the grave.
Yeah, I mean that'll do it, dude. Like so,
Yeah, it
like
absolutely fucking will.
like actual true story.
happened?
Like 2 weeks ago, the Baskerin fucking Satio. Not even 2 weeks ago, like a week ago, I fixed my sex status. I got up to a positive sex status, like plus 0.8 or some shit. And then I took a high sec contract, and I went and I bashed a single structure. Okay, in that process, I killed 5 ships. Okay, in about a week's span. I look at my sex status, not thinking, thinking maybe it took a little bit of a hit. I'm like minus 4.5 again. Like, what the literal fuck, dude? You cannot kill anybody in high sec and get away with it. It's just brutal.
One of my alt from +1 to -10 by smart bombing the Marian coronation event.
Well, that's what you get.
Nice. Yeah, but I mean, like,
Is it true negative 10?
Went straight because I killed several pods because Rafe and I both.
Nice.
So he killed ships and then pods died. So yeah, I went
So
straight to
funny, like actual real talk. Like when I was in low sec for like a really long time, and like I really wanted the -10. It took me so long to get it, and now it's just like holy fuck. All I had to do is war deck a dude in high sec a couple of times, and I would have like totally made it like in like a day. Anyway, it's crazy shit, dude. I have to fix my sex status again. Like we.
Mine gets better than -7. I don't like it.
I don't know, man. Like nowadays I kind of need to go into high sec a little bit with Loki, which is annoying. It's
You know-
fucking annoying.
Rich, are you joining my alliance?
I want to bring up.
Oh,
Rich, are you joining my alliance?
He's
Which
gonna join the
alliance is
bash.
that?
AARP.
No.
Okay, thanks.
You want to
small
join
gang for me.
Gunwafa?
You sure?
I believe somebody was willing to vouch me to 4S, Dawn, but I'm not sure if they're still there anymore. No, it's back to small gang for me. Small gang is what I like, and
Well, I'm doing
I mean,
small
look,
gang
if,
stuff.
How is
if-
Flagons not small gang?
it is. I'm just I'm
Staying.
gonna try out new things and new experiences.
Doesn't want to get the
It broke
mythic
up.
different one.
You want to come set up? You want to come set up a small
Rain,
gang null sec?
Rain, if you look at the look at the top of Wagons, at least at the time I left, I was not only top for the week. I've been top of Wagons kill board for a very long time now, and I'm the top wormhole scanner. It was with heavy heart that I decided to venture out. No
Y'all, what drama
to
aren't you
try
leaking us, dude?
to try new
There's
things.
there's definitely
They
some
broke
drama that he's not
somebody
leaking.
did not remember somebody's birthday. That's what's happened.
Dude, did
Wanna
Dirk
be their
Dinkle
worst
Also,
did Dirk
I haven't
Dinkle pay people?
mined in high sec.
You get caught calling Dawn on her hotline.
We talk all the time. He gets standoffish, but I try to be nice.
In the leather.
Hey, this is Don. How can I help you? Oh, Rich, no problem. I'll be right
Oh.
over.
Did Dunk pay
Thank
your?
you for calling the services of Don Rhea.
No,
How can I
Did
assist you
Dunk
today?
like pay your corp to kick you or something? Because that would be savage, dude. That would be an amazing story.
All right. So, I am tired. let's do our final thoughts
care.
for real. Okay, you know what? Fine. We'll just keep it going. So, for anybody who's listening to the podcast version on this Spotify or Apple Podcasts or watching on YouTube, unfortunately, this is where the show is going to end for you. If you're watching it within the next couple weeks, you can still watch it on Twitch if you want to. But otherwise, we're going to keep the party going here. And I thank you for watching or listening, and we'll catch you next week, same time, same place.